Hello, my name is Jessica. I read romance, I write romance, I buy notebooks, I send notebooks to other people. Hello.
Hello, and I'm Emma. And you also send Lokis. You sent one to me.
Mm,
Thank you very much.
yay.
I also write and read romance, and we're here to chat romance with you.
We are, and this is our last week, week 6 for us. It's a
No,
bit
how's that
sad, but
happened? Yeah,
I
it's
know
gone
it's
quick.
gone really weirdly quick, but very slow at some points too. But yeah, so we
Yeah.
are here week 6 with our new book for you guys. So
Mhm.
if you were joining us last week, we were reading Heart of Obsidian by Nalini Singh, and we are jumping with our link, which is mine/alpha, into a book that I think holds a special place for both of us, which is
Yeah.
Wolf Gone Wild by Juliette Cross.
Right, here is the blurb. What's the worst thing that can happen to a werewolf? Unable to shift for 3 months, Matteo Cruz knows all too well. His wolf has taken up residence in his head, taunting him night and day with vividly violent and carnal thoughts. Convinced he's cursed, he needs the help of a powerful witch before he literally goes insane. Evie Savoy has always obeyed the house rules of her coven. No werewolves. They're known for being moody and volatile. So when a distempered, dangerous werewolf strolls into the bar and almost strangles one of her late night customers, she's ready to bounce him through the door. But the desperation in his eyes when he begs her to help him softens her heart and convinces her to bend the rules. What Evie doesn't know is that Matteo's werewolf has a mind of his own. And now that she's in his sights, he only wants one thing, her. Are we ready?
I think so. For the final time, the final countdown.
Yeah, let's do it.
Do-do-do-do. I want to say that this is kind of not that we've not previously, but
Yeah.
but yeah, this was kind of the book that kicked us into all of this.
Yeah,
Thanks to you.
definitely. Yeah, I think I'd got it, hadn't I? And I told
Mm-hmm.
you we just randomly got into the habit of saying, "What are you reading?" I'm reading this, and it's like I've read this one, and I'm really really loving it. It's like all night, stayed up too late, far too late reading
Oh,
it.
very
You're like,
much
oh,
so.
I'll go get that. I'll try it.
But it was within the first page, and it's not even a full page. It was
I
just like,
know.
oh my God, I love this
It's just
so much.
funny, so funny. Yeah. So I mean, the blurb explains partly. I mean, actually, the blurb doesn't really explain what you're in for.
Mm-mm.
It explains
No.
the situation, very much so. Those are the opening chapters. It kind of tells you what happens. What you're not ready for is Alpha's voice in Matteo's head. And that's the thing that
Pretty
kind of,
much.
yeah, that's the thing that kind of gets you, this alpha wolf that's talking to him. Yeah. So yeah, he's got a curse on him. He knows it's a curse. His wolf just isn't dormant, as he mentions that, doesn't he? That sometimes wolves go dormant, but that's like when they're not alpha wolves, and he has like the most alpha of all alpha wolves.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
kind of like you'd imagine he's chanting in his head, just like
yeah,
constant alpha, alpha, just
yeah, yeah.
constantly.
Definitely. Oh. Um, yeah, and he can't shift. He needs to do it, and the urge is there. And the more he is unable to unleash his wolf, the more present his wolf is getting in his mind, and he's literally driving him crazy. Um,
Yeah.
so he's off
Has it been
in look.
3 months?
Yeah,
Is
three
it three
months.
months?
It's
Yeah.
like the third month, isn't it? So he's off to look for Evie, who has, again, should probably mention, I read the blurb out. I don't know if I've said all of the names right. I don't know if the surname for the sisters is right, but I went for it.
Well,
Do you say it
I was
differently in your
giving,
head?
I didn't even attempt it, but I do
Okay.
say Mateo,
Oh, do
which is a
you?
bit different
Matteo.
to yours. Yes. You see, that's
Mm.
just from watching Benidorm, and that's what the waiter's called.
Oh, I see. Yeah, yeah, and it is a
So
Latin. Yeah, he is Latin blooded. But so yeah, we're going to get tripped up with that then, aren't we? You're going to call him one thing. I'm
it'll
going to.
be it. Oh no, it's the Midlands South Divide. It's fine. It's like Watford
Maybe.
Gap. You hit Watford Gap and everything changes.
Yeah, fair enough.
Which is a service station in the middle of the UK for anybody who is not
Yeah,
aware.
yeah. Knowing what Watford Gap is, they're like, "What's that? Just this big hole in the middle of England?" We
Yeah,
never
a
knew
big old
about.
gap in Watford.
Pretty
Well,
much,
this is
but
it.
yeah.
So the digression is coming in really early.
So yeah, they're in
So
New
yeah,
Orleans. He's wandering around. He's trying to find Evie, who is renowned with the sisters. They're all really powerful witches, and they're kind of the ones that are in control of all the supernatural species in that area, the New Orleans area.
indeed. Yeah, it's normally vamps
Yes.
that do it, isn't it? Could being the
Yeah.
strongest, but
Yeah.
the six sisters have got.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're kick ass, aren't they? Really all
Because they're
together.
headed up by Jules, who's a siphon, isn't she? So she can just basically rip your powers away from you. So she has to be in charge because she's the most powerful. As
Yeah,
opposed
she's like
to,
mom.
yeah, exactly. And that's the nice thing when he's walking around trying to find Evie, and you're just getting a little bit of the layout of the area and a little bit of information about the different supernaturals that are in this story. So you've got werewolves, you've got vampires, you've got witches, and you've got grims, which are a nice different addition and very mysterious.
Little take.
Like
Which is, I thought it was done really, really well. That within like a page, it was just laid out so smoothly that this is the vampire bar with the Grims at the front, going to find the sisters, and here's your werewolf. And it was just like, it was just perfectly done. So smooth.
Definitely. Yeah. So, and he comes across a Grim, and that kind of shows what they know. They're mysterious, but the Grim kind of gives him a bit of information about, because they know everything. They like hold on. And they don't know how. They know everything, but they're like the techie geniuses. He sends him off to the Cauldron, isn't it? That's their bar /
it is
restaurant. Yeah.
Pub restaurant. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do love the fact that he turns up and he's like, yeah, good luck though.
Yeah.
Why?
He's like,
yeah, they don't do werewolves.
No. Yeah. And he goes in to find her, and she's very much like, no, we don't do werewolves. I know
we
Jules
don't do
said
werewolves.
No. By the end, she's not going to be saying that at all.
We do werewolves.
Yeah. But yeah, he's so alpha is just in his head, and he wants to fight everybody. He's like, as he's walking down the road, anybody that like looks at him for too long is like, go on, go punch him, go track him down. Like when someone just leaves the bar, go follow him. No. It's just like, no, shut up. And it's driving him crazy.
I wrote, he's a horny, vicious ball of comedy gold.
Yeah, he is, definitely.
Yeah, he's like, he looked at me, eat him. No. You'd kind of love an alpha in your head, but you really wouldn't.
No, you would not. Not if you had to like behave yourself in civilized society, which we kind
just
of
hold a conversation.
Yeah. I mean, it did make me think, like later on, I think there's a bit of a description in a few chapters about what it's like having him in your head. And it made me think of all the alphas, you know, like not just supernatural alphas, but contemporary alphas and stuff too. And you're like, God, is that what it's supposed to be like in these characters' heads? That they're just this constant aggression of, you know, we must fuck that or we must kill it. That's it, basically.
Kind of no wonder why they're always so angsty, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. So he's just he's begging her basically to help him because he's so desperate. And she's still not really keen. She said he looks
so sad.
Yeah. That's it. But it's when he snaps, because there's just this person, like, what's he do? Does he just knock into him a bit?
I think there's just like a drunk dude stumbles into him, and rather than turning around and going, oh sorry, he kind of grabs him around the neck and shoves him up the wall and nearly kills him.
That's it. And yeah, Evie kind of, yeah, she's like, oh, hang on, this isn't right. He's obviously really suffering, because afterwards he's absolutely distraught that he's reacted like that.
Yeah.
And she remembers kind of what her mum has always told them about what they're supposed to do with their magic, which is what's it? A good witch sees the truth, absorbs its goodness, and honors her gift. And Evie said, how do I honor it? And her mum said, by sharing it with those in need. And he's clearly very much in need, isn't he?
Yeah. Well, she does kind of what I probably wouldn't have done. She kind of gets in between them. And I think she said there's like desperation rolling off him when she touches him, because touches a lot with the witches and with the wolves and with most people in these books. But
yeah. I mean, I think that's maybe a bit of a sign of their power as well, I guess, because they've got the telekinesis. Most witches, they've said, have at least a sort of a baseline of telekinesis. So, you know, she can probably intervene by just like throwing him a bit or something, or throwing something at him. I don't know. They seem to like doing that a lot. I love that. I love hearing about the things they've thrown at various men that are bothering them.
They are. You would want to go for a drink with these six, wouldn't you, really?
Oh, yeah. So much fun. And yeah, so she decides that if she's going to do this, if she's got to consider it, she has to go to Jules, who's in charge. Yeah, take him back to their house and talk to him.
Yeah, they all live together.
Yeah, they go back there and find Jules, and she's having a wind down until he arrives.
Yeah, she's got a Merlot, she's got a book.
Yeah, she's listening to the right kind of music, not the wrong kind of music, which would tell her what is a really bad day. What was it, the throat singing or something? If it's that, just not bother. Don't do it at all.
No. I'll say they kind of go over the pros and the cons of what's going on, and you can see Jules's hackles are up from like the minute they walk in.
Yeah, but she's also the kind of angle is that he's going to be a danger to people, and it's her job to protect people from supernaturals. That's her responsibility. So she can't leave it. Something has to be done with it. But you know, that means kind of putting Evie in danger as far as she's concerned, because he's a werewolf. Werewolves are dangerous.
Bad. Werewolf bad.
Yeah. It's that scene. So I remembered him being really, really sweet. When we read it the first time, and thinking back, like when he's Matteo, he's really sweet, and Alpha's like the other side. But he starts off quite grumpy actually at the beginning, because he's so stressed out. And then this scene, I think, is really funny, because Evie just it's from Evie's perspective, and she can't quite get like a read on him. He's acting really odd. And it's afterwards you understand why, because he thinks about it afterwards, doesn't he? And he's like, he couldn't concentrate on having a conversation with her at all, because he had Alpha in his head just saying the nudist things about Evie constantly.
Well, yeah, there's so many notes that I wrote, like when it's from Evie's POV, and I'm like, I would love to know what Alpha is saying on the other side of the conversation.
Yeah. There's a bit he's like, she has to like hold him, doesn't she, when she's with Jules, to kind of get an idea of what the hex is.
About the So she's the hex breaker, so she has to do she has to touch them to try and figure out what's going on there, so she can break the hex. The hex.
And when she does it, it's like she's kind of pushed back, and it's not like anything she's experienced before. And after they're talking about it, and she's like, I think your wolf was pushing me away. And he's like, I don't think my wolf was pushing you away. And it's clear, it's like, that's really not the case. My wolf likes you a lot. Like, it's not good. Too much.
Oh, yeah. I think we're going to have the very same notes on this, because I've got that as well. Is this your wolf's doing? No, it's not.
No. There's something else entirely.
Yeah. But we kind of we get there and they agree to help him out because it's kind of nothing like she's seen before. She needs to have a look at it and go from there. So then we jump to, this is it. We jump to Mateo's point of view, and I've written like, first thing we learn, Alpha is just a dirty boy.
Yes. Dear me. I don't even know. I mean, I've got some quotes, but I just don't know how many of them I can actually say. Like, is it taking it too far? Are you just going to go for it?
Well, no, I did what I did. So I read it on my Kindle and I made a note of every single. I did a note for every single thing he wrote, and then I looked it over and I'm like, I can't print it out because some of it's just like
some of it. Yeah, it's a bit much, isn't it?
He's like a
I mean, it's funny
teenage boy.
Yeah, it's amazing when you read it. But yeah, I think out of context, we might just be coming across a little bit crass to everybody.
But yeah, so we get Mateo's point of view. We learn that he's actually, it's not until now we learn that he's called Alpha, because at the beginning he's just like the voice in his head, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we find out his name, we find out that he's filthy, and we learn that when Evie turns up and is in his presence, Alpha actually shushes down a bit.
Yeah, he comes to that conclusion the next day, doesn't he? Because he's like in his gallery. So his job is he's a steelwork artist, isn't he?
Sculptor.
Yeah,
he does
metal
sculpture.
That stuff.
Sculpturers.
And he's got a gallery, and he's trying to work, and he's got like this assistant who's quite young. And she's been with him a long time, and she's obviously had a crush on him and stuff. And he's really trying to like be normal around her, and he can't because Alpha's just so loud in his head.
I like the other one.
What's that?
She's got boobs. She's got boobs and red hair. I like the other one.
That's it. Yeah, he's saying stuff like, "Can we just go find her? Just go find that one." And then he's like, "Oh, it wasn't this loud when I was with Evie before. Maybe it's helping." So he does. He kind of listens, and Alpha's like, finally, go find her.
Go get her.
Yeah. So he goes to find her. I think, is it at the shop he goes to? They've got a little shop.
So there are the 6 sisters, and they have their fingers in a few pies.
Yeah.
So there's the shop, there's the bar. Oh, is there anything else? There is later.
Yeah.
Again, so many books ahead. We're 3 books in, and there's more coming.
So he goes to find her, and that's funny as well. He goes into the shop, and it's like they're kind of hiding in plain sight. So it's not the kind of paranormal where humans are aware. The supernaturals are very much still a secret from most humans. Though they seem to, they let people that are in their lives, they might tell them, but not everybody. No. But they've got like the kind of, what would you call it? A hippie shop. With the crystals and stuff like that.
Yeah. It's kind of, as you would imagine, like a Wiccan witchy shop.
Exactly.
If you went to Stratford, there's a little one in Stratford that do bits, and you walk past it, and there's a cauldron and a wooden sign, and it is a bit stereotypical, but it works.
But they've got something like that, which is quite, because New Orleans is quite known for all of the supernatural stuff anyway, so it's probably really good for the tourists, and they kind of infuse their crystals and stuff like that with actual real magic,
proper magic,
which is nice. So they're kind of doing it anyway. And when he comes, he thinks he sees a stuffed cat on the windowsill, doesn't he? On like one of the shelves.
But this ratty old thing.
This ratty thing, and he's like, that's kind of effective. They could have got a better one. And then they find out it's alive. It's actually
it moves.
Cat, zombie cat. And Alpha's like, kill it.
Kill it with fire.
It's unnatural. He's this big bad Alpha, but this cat like freaks him out. Not right. Yeah, he kind of tries to be nice to the cat, doesn't he? Because he's trying to appear like not dangerous and quite normal, and give it a stroke and things like that. While he's having a chat to her.
But then he turns around and he's like, this isn't trying to be creepy, but I need to spend time with you.
Yeah, I need like all your time
6 hours
because
a day.
I can't concentrate and I've got a commission to finish. But when I'm with you, Alpha seems to quieten down, and I really, really need that. And he was like, bit weird, but okay.
Okay, I'll go with it. You
Not
strong,
6 hours.
attractive.
Yeah.
No, barter.
Twist me arm there to spend a bit of time with this very tall, gorgeous man.
Again, dark hair, blue eyes, and no, he's got dark eyes as well.
Brown eyes. Yeah.
Black
all
hair,
melty, warm, soft eyes.
Chocolate, melty chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
But he said, I can't do today. Other plans.
Yeah.
He's like, ooh.
But she said, she tags him along, doesn't she? He says, right, you can have a bit of my time today. And they go out. And she takes him to one of her favourite places that she goes every week is her comic shop. Because
she's awesome and she's a super geek.
Yeah, she's brilliant. She is so cool. Yeah, that's another fun one from her perspective as well, isn't it? And he's acting a bit strange.
Yeah, in the shop.
And she's not quite reading it right. She doesn't know. She takes him in and he knows nothing. He's completely detached from media, isn't he?
He doesn't know anything about what's going on. He's kind of like Clark Kent to me, that he kind of tries, it's like he's trying to act not knowing anything, but he just really doesn't.
Yeah.
So she geeks out over Deadpool and all the Spider-Man art, and then she's got a thing for Wolverine,
which I think is a massive bell there. It's like, come on,
ding ding ding.
She's already got a soft spot for Wolfmen there,
for slightly hairier men. Yeah, it's fine. No adamantium this end, but so she kind of starts doing like kissy faces at the Wolverine on the cover, and Alpha gets right peeved. But flashes into Mateo's eyes, so his eyes kind of tweak colours, and she's like
a bit golden, don't they?
Yeah. But with solidarity, I have my t-shirt on.
What's that? Shake your coconut.
It says shake your coconuts. It was bought for a friend's hen night years ago.
Okay. Cool.
Where it was all like Hawaiian-y themed, but I love the fact she's got all these awesome t-shirts, and people are like, you shouldn't wear those, and she's like, I don't really care because I love a funny t-shirt.
One of them later on, I didn't realise, you've said to me a few times about come join us on the dark side. We've got cookies.
We have cookies. I've got that t-shirt.
I didn't realise. I thought it was just you saying something cool. And I was like,
no.
Evie and Jess have the same t-shirt. It's brilliant.
She's like me.
Yeah.
But I'm not a big Star Wars buff, so we'll get on to that.
Yeah, I didn't know. I'd only watched some of them. I didn't get all the references to that. I think as an extra layer. Yeah, I kind of understood. I at least knew more than Matteo about like radio and stuff. I knew what it was, kind of.
Yeah,
the whole idea.
Well, this is it. I've only seen the first 6, I think.
Only the first 6.
Only 6.
Yeah.
But when you watch it as an adult compared to the people who watched it as kids, I can come in and go, the first 3 weren't too bad. I didn't mind Jar Jar Binks. He was not offensive to me in any way.
Yeah.
And you have
Did you watch Spaced? Did you watch Spaced?
Bits and pieces I've seen.
Yeah. That was a big thing in there, the hatred of Jar Jar Binks.
And I'm like,
it wasn't so bad. What?
Yeah.
No.
How dare you?
Absolutely.
I don't.
And that's kind of where Evie's coming from. She's like that, isn't she? She's like full on.
You've not seen any of them?
Yeah. How can you not know this? What's going on?
Oh,
and the guy in the shop is always trying to ask her out, isn't he?
Bam.
And she's dodging him because she she kind
of doesn't want to get she doesn't want to get involved with somebody who is going to ruin this big epic hobby, which fair enough.
Exactly, makes sense. If it doesn't work out, then and she's kind of lets on that she's a little bit like flighty. She's only had kind of one serious relationship. Everything else is a little bit more,
casual and
temporary. Yeah, casual. She I think she calls herself fickle.
Yeah.
But she's just not getting involved because it's quite awkward as well because they have different lifespans. They have quite a longer lifespan, to humans. And then obviously you have to explain what you are eventually if it gets serious and stuff like that. So
I did think Bam was a bit, he's like, oh, who's this then? You kind of boyfriend thing. And then she wheels it off. He's like, no, it's a werewolf. I'm helping. We're doing this. And I'm actually a witch and all of this sort of stuff. And he's like, just like, good one.
Good one. And she thinks that that's annoyed Matteo, doesn't she? She thinks it's like because he goes all like
tense,
super tense, and gets quite aggressive when he's paying for everything.
Yeah, very close.
It's clearly not that. It's Alpha who's
Alpha.
Like, who is this dude, Pam? Let's kill him with a spoon.
Yeah.
It's like, why a spoon?
Oh, it's
very
it is.
Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves that moment.
Because it's blunt, you idiot.
Yeah, it will hurt more. Definitely. And they get out of there and they go back to the shop.
This is where we meet Clara. She's the aura.
She's the aura. She kind of senses what people are like, and she can improve people's mood. She's just like sweetness and light personified, isn't she? And this was the point where I put a note down and I said I'd mention it to you about possibly her book in the future, because when Evie's describing what she's like and that she goes and like she quite regularly goes and like feeds the homeless, she'll take stuff to them, like to the point where she puts herself in danger because there was a shootout, and she describes that she was there and she got knocked out before she got hurt, and then when she woke up for some reason everybody was gone, and that made me think, was there someone around?
Has he been
maybe
it could be. I'm very much looking forward to that.
Oh, I'm so even more so after reading this one again.
Yes, again.
Yeah, I know. Oh, gets you so excited for the next one. She definitely knows what she's doing, Juliette Cross, in like putting these, building up all these little characters and teasing us with these relationships that we just, as a romance reader, you're like, oh yeah, them,
next
them.
one, that one,
I want
that
those
one.
ones. Yeah, I want to know what's going on with them. It's brilliant.
But yeah, I do like the fact that she seems all sweet and innocent, and she's like, go on, go take care of your wolf. And she's like, not my wolf. And then she just giggles as Evie's leaving.
Yeah. I mean,
and you know you couldn't be pissed at that sister because she's probably the nicest, sweetest, but just keeps dropping these little bombshells.
Yeah. And Evie's just like, she's protesting far too much.
Way too much.
It's not my werewolf. I'm not interested. No. It's for work. It's a work thing. I'm just helping him. Like, yes.
To do with anything else.
Convince yourself of that.
But yeah, so we head over to the gallery.
Yeah.
Go to see Matteo. And so we've mentioned Missy is his receptionist lady.
Yeah.
And she seems quite nice, actually, old Missy, bless her, when we get further into the book. I'd need a Missy, like I need a Caleb.
Yeah, she does seem very capable, even though she was quite young, doesn't she?
Yes. But yeah, we've got all of the alpha links in there that Matteo can feel that he's growing stronger and the blood is there a bit higher. And we notice.
He lets on for the first time that he's quite scared about what will happen when Alpha finally comes back because he's so pent up. He's quite worried about losing himself to Alpha getting stronger and stronger. And like Alpha's a little bit threatening in his head, isn't he, at this stage?
Yeah, do this now. This is what I kind of noted the second time that, there is, I don't know if it's a spoiler here, but spoiler, that the mate thing from Alpha is in there pretty early on. For me, it was about this chapter that I'm like, you can see that Alpha is there trying to, basically he's peeing all over her. Sort of, this is my mate. I am here. Why are we not doing this? And I don't know, is it the fact that it's so like that Matteo is kind of trying to ignore it or glossing over it?
I got the sense he was just so distracted and Alpha has just been so intense about everything
Yeah,
But he just thinks it's more of Alpha getting more and more and more intense with everything that's going on. Because the shoe doesn't drop for him for quite a while, does it?
Yeah, it takes quite a while.
It's like quite a long time, but not too long.
No.
Yeah.
But yeah, with Alpha, it was kind of here. It was like, okay, yeah, come on.
Yeah.
I saw it sort of leap out of the page that he's basically humping his leg in his brain.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, did you see the Hades statue he's working on? That made me giggle.
Yeah. Oh, he's got that one in his courtyard, hasn't he? So he's like inspired by Greek myths.
All the Greek stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Evie arrives, sees the Hades, goes to work on her little tablet, and Matteo can realise he finally can get his work done.
And he gets on, and there's she's a bit distracted. She gets a bit hot and bothered watching him with his
she does,
with his blowtorch and bending the metal. He's being like, I mean, it's like the perfect metaphor for him, really, isn't it? Because it's all creative and sensitive in the like how he mends it, that makes it all beautiful. But it's also like really testosterone-y in that it's like fire, metal. It's like basically the two sides of his personality, the werewolf personality, come together in that. And there's I think it's a really nice touch with the werewolf like myth in this is the whole creative thing, isn't it? Because they're cursed to be the beast, but like in balance they get a talent, a gift, an artistic gift or creativity, which is, and this is his one.
Yes, we find more later.
Yeah, and she's trying to, she has to go off. She has to have a wander off, doesn't she, in the gallery, cool down a bit.
But it did make me giggle that she goes to leave and he stops midway from what he's doing, and the hands are over the boobs on the statue. And it's like perfectly placed. And it's like, where are you going? What are you doing? There was so many of those that I'm tittering. My Kindle is like shaking in my hand. Yeah, she goes and looks at the pretties. I was going to say, is this the first instance of Dickhead Derek?
Yeah, that's it. She's thinking a bit, isn't she? She's thinking a bit about her artwork. She kind of hides it from him when she's working on her tablet. She's just reading the comics rather than doing her artwork. And it's because Dickhead Derek, the ex-boyfriend, was just he was a witch.
Nightmare.
And she dated him because she's too nice for her own good. He was like new to the area. She wanted to help him meet people, and he basically used her for their connections because they're a powerful family. And then he belittled her artwork and made her feel crap and insecure about it, and we hate him.
But it was everything, wasn't it? It wasn't just the artwork, it was the clothing and the attitude. It's like, why are you dressing like a teenager? Don't dress like a teenager. Be more serious,
dude. It was terrible. For 2 years she dated him. What was she on? Evie. Oh my goodness, love.
You just can't.
Yeah.
But so Matteo kind of pulls her back out of her musings, and I was a little bit sad because she's like, oh well, I got rid of that one and I can't really have this one either because of no werewolves. We don't do werewolves. No,
he's a bit dangerous, that one. Although you have had, like, as well as the Wolverine thing, there's been a couple of moments where I think when she's reading the Hex as well and stuff like that, and he growls at her, doesn't he? Because he's like a bit on his defense,
on edge.
But she kind of likes it. She's like, oh, scary, but I kind of like it. So
we go to Evie at the bar.
Yeah, she's working.
She's back
and
at work.
Arranged to, I think it's like the following day, isn't it? They've arranged to have their time later when she's finished her shift. But he can't wait until then.
He goes back.
Yeah, a drink at the bar.
But I have to say, JJ seems like an awesome person to know. The barman is JJ.
Yeah.
And Charlie as well, who's there.
Oh. Yeah, their friendly crew that hang out there. And he's like, he's basically awesome. Pegging it all, isn't he? He's like there to say, who's this dude? What's going on with him? why is he staring at you? Why is he giving evils to me? You know,
Yeah.
because
He wants to bone you. No, he doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does. Are you avoiding him?
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I so is.
Totally is.
And then Violet arrives.
Oh,
Another
yeah.
sister. I noted all the
Violet.
sisters because there's always something coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Violet is kind of violent.
Yeah. She's Clara's twin, and they are opposites entirely.
Oh, polar.
Yeah, she's a seer, isn't she? So she can divine and prophesy
tarot and stuff.
Yeah.
She's not backwards in coming forwards, but she joins in the teasing as well.
Yeah, exactly. They're all teasing her a bit, and Evie finally goes over to him, and he's so sweet and desperate, isn't he? Because he's like, Alpha's been driving him crazy again. He's just like, do you mind if I touch you?
Yeah, can I touch you?
They've kind of figured out that that's the thing, why it's helping. They think it's because she breaks hexes, so her magic is just helping to soothe him.
Yeah. It amplifies the stuff that comes through, but that's not it.
And she's like, all right then, if you must. What a terrible thing to have to put up with.
Yeah.
This gorgeous man wants to touch me.
I was going to say, I've got bits about sort of, he's looking at JJ and he's like, why is he looking at me like that?
He thinks he's JJ's Evie's boyfriend, doesn't he?
Yes.
Like, her boyfriend is watching us. I don't think, he's going to like it if we go back to your place, because that's what they're supposed to be doing and watching a film. He's like, is that appropriate? Is that your boyfriend over there? Because he's watching us really closely. And she's like, he's not my boyfriend. He's not interested.
No. I'm not his type. You're his type.
No. Yeah. And then he relaxes. He's like,
yes. Yeah.
No boyfriend on the scene.
Yeah. And then they go back and watch some Star Wars. So they start with the first one, and then they get on to the next one, and she bends over to put the disc in, doesn't she? And you can imagine the voices that are coming in his head,
and
when
he just
she's got a bum in the air,
the popcorn in his mouth, doesn't he? And she's like, are you all right? Because he's like round again. He's like, I'm fine.
Oh, bless. But so that's it. She bends over. He's a gunner, and then
he's been
Clara,
quite relaxed, and enjoying it, and it just completely ramps him up. Alpha's there again, like, making it hard for him to be civil and behave himself. And Clara comes in and senses it all. She can see
light on.
Whoa.
Hello.
Yeah, exactly.
But she has to pump calm into him, so she can kind of she comes in, and as you would imagine, a bit flighty, and she pushes joy and calmness into him, and he relaxes down. So to me, it's kind of like he's at a happy drunk stage. That's how I imagined him, that he's a bit 2 drinks in maybe.
And Evie gets a bit jealous, doesn't she? She's like, oh, I thought that's why he needed me around. He doesn't need me around if Clara can just like give him a boost with joy. And he's like, no, I do need you. He reassures her, doesn't he, before he goes? I was going to
say, she sort of, we'll go. Okay, you'll go. And she takes him to the door, and they have a chat. And it's the friends chat, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're friends. We're friends, aren't we? Yeah, of course we're friends.
Yeah.
We can watch the next film because we're friends, kind of.
Yeah, for the moment.
Yeah.
I think he kind of realises, doesn't he, that he wants more. But he can't risk doing anything while he's still got this hex on him, and he doesn't know whether Alpha's going to take over and just, be a bit intense and aggressive.
So, he already knows he's going to wait till that's done. So it's full moon for the hex. So he's got it in his head already. He's aiming for that. And
Evie does a bit of research. She's been researching werewolves. She's done a bit of reading about the curse and stuff like that, just about it all starting.
Like reading.
Bedtime reading, which is all a bit scary. And then she has a very, very vivid dream, doesn't she?
She does, yes. So we kind of learn that why the witches and the wolves dislike each other. So we've got a witchy lady who is being tortured by a witch hunter.
Yeah, it's kind of Spanish Inquisition time, I
Yes,
Yeah.
Diego Ortega, which I thought was a
Yeah.
fantastic name.
That's
And she
brilliant.
was Ethelinda, which is a bit.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I guess.
so he's
Witchy.
torturing
It's
her.
a witchy name, definitely.
I thought, see, Ethelred, is that a kingy name? I'm just.
Oh yeah, that was like Anglo-Saxon or just Saxon. I can't remember.
That's weird. Yeah, that's weirdly what it reminded me of. But yeah,
Yeah.
so Spanish Inquisition. So he's torturing this poor witch, and as she's dying, she kind of, as you do, a plague on both your houses kind of thing. She curses him to have this creature erupt.
It's like a punishment, isn't it? As a human, you can either be really brutal or you can be full of creativity and, positivity, and it's up to you which one you choose, kind of thing. But you're trapped.
Both. I will use both.
Yeah,
I will use
both.
creative wolf murder.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, you could say that is basically what torture is, isn't it? I guess.
Entrails
to
pulled
hunt
out,
you down.
wrapped around a tree. It's like Bake Off,
Yeah.
intestine style.
It's kind of like that thing with Taskmaster. Do you ever watch that? And they interpret the task how they want to, like. that's what he did when he got cursed. He was like, I can bend this to try.
Yeah,
do
just tweak it this way.
Yeah. I got the impression that werewolves tended to be male as well, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, it is the male line that she curses.
It's the male line. Yeah.
Yes. So
yeah.
No lady wolves.
But
she drifts off into her dream. I found it quite funny that she's like, I'm wearing a skirt, so I know it's a dream. That's the kind of thing that I do.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a lucid dream. She kind of knows what's happening in it, and that it's not real, but it's she's stuck in it anyway, and it's she's being chased, isn't she?
Yeah, she is.
By Alpha. She sees his wolf and she's running off. And she, again, it's that thing of she wakes up, but she's kind of liked it, hasn't she?
Yeah. But then she kind of wakes up to a text from him, doesn't she? And it all kind of, the dream flows into reality, and she's late to meet him, and he's like, oh, I hope it was good dreams.
No. Yes. No. Yeah. She says, I thought it was funny. As if she was talking to a psychiatrist who's gone, and when he caught me getting ready to rip me apart, he licked my neck instead, and I came in my peasant panties. Yes, a high milligram antipsychotic would be agreeable. But she knows it's wrong. She's like, I was terrified, but really turned on. Yeah. And I know that's not quite right. but there you go.
We'll go with it anyway.
Yeah.
Nobody has to know.
Mixed feelings about that one. That's it. It's dream stuff. Don't worry, you don't have to tell if you don't want to. Yeah.
But yeah, I think the next day that when she finally gets ready and goes and gets dressed, she's quite quiet when she goes back to the studio, weirdly.
Yeah. He's like, are you all right? I'm fine. I'm fine. Yeah, he takes her out, doesn't he? After he's done his work. Yeah. And she's been doing her work, and then he has a surprise to take her out because they're friends.
Yeah.
So he takes her somewhere nice, doesn't he?
He does, but it's second place, but it's still really good.
Second place, yeah. She's really excited, but it could have been better because it's a DC restaurant, not Marvel. Rather than, and he does know the difference. Marvel. Yeah, but she's all about Marvel. And but he knows the artist that owns it and runs it, and she's so bowled over by it. She's absolutely loving it, and she's just really, really attracted to him now. And she's like, you're my friend, I want to marry you. She's like, again, saying what she's like kind of thinking to like cover it up. She's like amazing at the bluff, isn't she? What she says in real life. It's genuinely what she's thinking.
But yeah, there's a lot of food there, and then he goes over for dinner.
Yeah, there's I think they are quite foodie books. Like I get the sense like when you get to Jules' book, because she's the chef.
She's cooking,
at the cauldron, and like they talk about her meals quite a lot and everything. That will be quite interesting because
to see what she is actually cooking up.
Yeah, I'm not like I'm not majorly into foodie books, but yeah, that seems to be like, if you are, it's that, I think that will hit the spot for you as well. There's some really lovely descriptions of food.
So we digress again. So they're there for Sunday dinner, which we do a lot.
Yeah, so this is the next thing that they do together. Yeah.
Yes. So they Matteo is going over for Sunday dinner. So Evie is there, Jules is cooking. And we learn about, there's a party coming up. They have a coven guild that every year, I think, it moves around the country and each person hosts. So it's Jules's turn, and Evie's been kind of not wanting to go because dickhead Derek goes there a lot.
Yeah, she avoids it, but she can't avoid it this time because they're hosting.
This is it, because it's there and Jules is kind of the host. She has to go. So
yeah. And she's not very happy about it. But I kind of loved it because, like, he arrives, doesn't he? And she goes, the doorbell rang, Matteo. And just like that, all thoughts of douchebag Derek were gone.
Yeah, like when you wipe the bottom across, it just clears the screen. Yeah,
like the doodle.
Job done.
That's it. Whoop, he's gone.
But he's right brown nosing because he brings a bottle of Merlot that Jules was drinking.
But he could sniff out. He was able to sniff it out with his wolfy senses when he met her the first time. That's smooth. That is some smooth stuff. And it works. She's quite happy with that.
It does. It does.
And then it all goes a bit, chaos. They've got Violet owns, so they've got Zed, the cat, who's a zombie cat because Isadora, the other sister who's not there, she's away, is a conduit. So that's like healing gift. She draws energy and she's boosting the cat's life. The cat's about 30 by now, which is why you're
30 plus,
looking a bit ropey. yeah. And Violet has a pet rooster, Fred. Is it Fred? The rooster.
It is. It's Fred. Yes.
Yeah, who wears a bow tie. And
he does, bless him.
Yeah, he comes streaking into the room because he's being chased by Zed. And it's just too much for Matteo's frayed nerves. Like Alpha just reacts, and he grabs Evie and pulls her back, to protect her. I guess.
Yeah, of course.
From the terrifying rooster and
terrifying rooster and the mangled cat.
Yeah, and he has that. It's that same thing of that shame afterwards because he lost control and he was holding on to her really tight. And she's okay, bless her. She doesn't mind.
Yeah, she's fine with it.
Yeah, and even Jules is quite sympathetic, wary, but it's like she realizes, this is really serious. You're really on edge. You are she witnesses it. This is dangerous stuff.
I think it's the first time we sort of see Alpha come to the fourth one and actually speak out and sort of back up, move, sort of thing. That's it gets a bit more so the more we go in, you can see him pushing forward. But then we get some divination. So food is done.
Yeah.
Probably quite quiet after all that's happened.
Yeah. And Violet does her thing. She gets her bowl and little snip of his hair in it.
Yes.
And tries to see what's going on with him. And it's they realise there's this binding spell. She keeps trying, and she gets really angry, doesn't she? Because it's not working.
Yeah.
What's it? Reveal yourself, because they're trying to find out who's put this hex on him, because he doesn't have any clue. He's quite a nice guy. He's quite an introvert.
Yeah.
He doesn't really, he goes, his hobbies include not watching films, obviously, but hiking in the woods, doing his sculptures, staying at home. That's reading. Pretty much it. He's very, very quiet dude. He doesn't know. Even his girlfriends have been, very
quite meek and mild and submissive.
Yeah, he keeps them quite at a distance. He cuts it off before anyone gets too attached because, he knows, again, like Evie, there's quite a parallel between them. He doesn't want to get too involved with anyone because they're going to start noticing when he has to go off every month to go and do his shift in the woods.
And that he doesn't age.
Yeah, that's it, And so Violet's tried to find that out and it's really blocking. They can't get an idea. It's the spell's all bound up. And Jules kind of pushes him about the relationship stuff, and he's quite harsh, isn't he? And again, that kind of he's like, I don't do relationships, and then he's like, oh.
Yeah, she does. She gets really sad, doesn't she? She's like, yeah, I'm alone now. We're good at this. This is what wolves do.
Yeah.
But then the bowl sort of flips and smashes down, doesn't it?
Yeah.
They don't get anything. It's just kaboom, just chaos with it.
And they decide that they're going to try and break the hex on the next full moon, because that will be when his wolf is closest to wanting to shift. As if he's not quite close to the surface anyway, after all that time. But that will be like the best point. He senses that Evie's not very happy with him.
Well, yeah, her walls have gone up because that's kind
of...
Yeah, I like you. You're quite nice. Oh, we find out you're getting a bit nicer. All this happens and, oh, okay. You don't want anything but sex? No relationships at all? Then what?
Yeah.
So, yeah, she's already feeling quite clingy with him, even after only a real short time.
Yeah. And he doesn't want to let her stay mad at him. So he convinces her to go and have coffee, doesn't he?
Coffee. After my own heart.
Yeah. At that time of night, it must be late for me. I don't do caffeine much at all. Thinking of drinking it at that time of night, it's like, what are you doing? Going for an espresso after dinner? You'll never get to sleep. You won't be able to have wolf dreams anymore.
Yeah, you're already wired. You don't need any more help.
Yeah.
But so they have a natter and they meet a friend of his called Sandra in the queue.
Mm-hmm.
So she's another artist who helped sort of fund his gallery. So he's known her for years. And
he rents the space to people, doesn't he, as well?
She was the one who drew one of the pictures that Evie was looking at, one of the landscapes, when she left him the first time around to have a wander.
Yeah, to cool down.
To have a cool off.
Yeah, and she's very like sophisticated looking, and Evie's sitting there feeling a bit insecure, isn't she? And underdressed and feeling jealous.
Because... Yeah, in her jeans and a funky t-shirt.
Yeah, bless her. She doesn't need to worry at all.
So and Sandra wants a piece doing, so she's kind of quite in the scene, as she would be, I'd imagine. And his work sounds fantastic just from reading about it. So
it does, amazing.
She
wants
that
a young, beautiful woman, doesn't she? The theme of hope, strength, and love.
Yes.
So who will he be inspired by? I wonder.
We do wonder.
Yeah, he doesn't even trick himself. Like sometimes when you get that happen in books, like that's a trope thing. They don't even realise until they've done it. Do you know what I mean? And they look and it's so-and-so. I must love them. No, he just knows. He's like, I'm going to use Evie.
He knows.
Evie's going to be inspiration. Yeah. Definitely for that.
Job done.
Yeah.
But then they chat about the friends again. And she's like, she's your friend? He's like, yeah, I have friends, but I have very good friends.
Some are better.
We know. We know which one she is.
Yeah. And then
a little bit of time passes between then and the next bit.
And then he takes her out again. I mean, he's basically dating her, bless him. Because he's like, gone to her, I need you to be quiet so I can do my work. And then he's like, right, I'm going to take you to a restaurant. She's like, I'm going to invite you over to watch movies.
Yeah, can I have some dinner?
Like, this is not really connected to doing your creative work. You guys, come on, just face the music.
So they go to a place called the Voodoo Festival, which sounds quite funky. So Matteo sets up, he has a booth there every year to showcase the art, and Missy seems to be like a freight train running this thing.
Yeah, definitely. And they kind of see a different side of her though. I think there's a little moment with that where you wonder what's going on with her. She's a little bit stressed in that, don't you trust me to do this thing? And there's another artist there. And he's like, well, that's not like Missy. She's not bossy. And he's like, well, you don't know Missy the way I know Missy. And you get an idea that maybe he doesn't know her as well as he thinks he does. Maybe because she's got a crush on him. Yeah.
Well, this was the thing. I didn't know whether they were kind of painting it in the light of you kind of get to know a few people throughout the book. And you're like, oh, So is Missy linked to the hex?
Exactly.
And you
because
then
it is a mystery. Exactly. Who's done this? It must be someone in his life that's done this to him. So like when you're introduced to all these people that are in his circle, it's kind of putting those things there, and just like, so you question it a little bit, just these little drops of it.
When they go to the DC place, the Gotham City Grill, and she's kind of like talking to his friend, and he gets a bit jealous then as well, and the mate's a bit clingy and artistic-y, and it's like, oh, okay, what's going on with that bit? There's just so many little like ones.
Rivalry from being artists and stuff like that. Just little things like that, isn't there? And then they play a game, don't they? They play the game.
Two truths, one lie.
It's a very cool game.
It's all a bit weird, some of them. I tried to kind of think of some for me, and mine were very much not like theirs.
I don't know. No, I'm not interested in that. I mean, I guess that's the beauty of when you're writing people. You can spend a day thinking of something interesting for these things. That's the kind of thing when I'm doing it. I'll be like, I'll put a placeholder in. They have a discussion about something here. He tells her blah, blah, that's very interesting, or that is funny. Come back to that later. I'll think about
we'll figure that out.
For about a week. So I can come up with something good.
So would you ever write anything about good pie? That's kind of... He makes good pie, does Matteo?
He does.
Meat pie.
Meat pie. He is award-winning.
It wouldn't be a fruit pie, would it? Because nobody wants to get given somebody's fruit. No. You want their meat.
No, I wrote in one of my Christmas ones, my last Christmas one, I had a chef, and he had his marshmallows, and he kind of like would say, you know, I don't want to burn my marshmallows and stuff like that. So you'd get like the little, but it's very innocent. It's not meat pie. I didn't go in hard. These are rom-coms. I didn't go in hard with the meat pie. That'll be for later. Not for books.
There was no gob full of meat in yours.
No, exactly. She's not getting a mouthful of meat in those books.
That's not very festive, is it?
No.
All I'm thinking about is a mince pie joke. Did you put a mince pie joke in?
I think I did. The first Christmas book I did, which originally was called A Mince Pie Emergency. So,
really? Oh, that is the best.
I really like that title, but you know,
cool.
Publishers know what they're doing. They changed it. So
No, they don't. I would have bought A Mince Pie Emergency without looking at anything else.
It really suited it, but it's fine. People have read it, so that's the main thing.
I bet I'm going to go and leave a review now saying something. It would have been better with this title, though.
Oh, I get that. We review 1 star. Title would have been better.
Bless them, these people. Anyway, so we're at a voodoo festival.
Yeah.
We learn about meat pies. Alpha gets to purring when they're starting to chat and get a bit closer. He's like a little kitty.
Yeah, there is a good bit as well, a bit that Alpha makes me laugh when they're walking in and it's really busy, and Matteo goes on the outside where the traffic is, you know, being the gentleman, because the cars are getting quite close, and Alpha's like, I'll smash their car into dust if they try and hit me or my woman. And he's like, okay, Hulk, yeah, sure you will.
Yeah.
In his own head. He was like, oh my God. It's just, he's so extreme and crazy and aggressive.
But in the nicest way.
They go and get drinks, don't they? And they're in a tent. And Evie sees someone she knows, doesn't she? Yeah, she sees another.
What an awesome name. Beryl. Not heard of a Beryl since I used to read like the Beano or the Dandy.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, Beryl. It's a fab name, that.
Yeah, and she's like their mum's best friend. Yeah.
And she's doing she's out doing the tarot.
So they all think she's just, you know, she's just putting it on. Like the crowd are all skeptical and do it, but she actually is doing proper tarot for them.
Proper tarot. Well, she's like maneuver that she's flipping the cards, and the cards are kind of moving themselves through her hands.
Yeah,
They kind of got like
shuffles
this
them
dynamo vision
and
thing,
they're moving.
Yeah.
And they think, wow, that's a good effect, isn't it? It's kind of this thing that I like now, because we have so much like photoshopping. Even if someone did genuinely see a ghost or genuinely see an alien, no one would ever believe it because we have such good effects. So it's like we just would tell ourselves, no, it's just CGI. It's fine. Photoshop. And that's what they're like. They're like seeing it literally happen and just think it's an effect, a magic trick. But no, she sees Evie and she's like, right, you have to have a reading. Sit your bum in the chair. Spirit says.
Yeah. And so, she pulls a card, and there's only 2 cards that ever really come out of a tarot pack.
Yeah.
I've read many books with tarots in them, and only one that I know does all of them. But what are the 2 cards that come out?
Yeah.
First
you
one.
Always get it. Lovers and Death are always the ones.
So Death. Yeah. Death comes out first, and to the people who know of tarot and how it works, it obviously doesn't mean death. It is rebirth and growing and something coming from that. So the card starts to animate itself. So if you know of the Death card, it's kind of the dude, the skeletal figure. So his skeleton face starts moving, and it's all really a little bit creepy. And both of them, sort of Evie and Beryl, are looking at this card, and nobody else can see it but these 2. And it's like, that's a bit not good.
Yeah.
But so she kind of, they go to leave it there. Yeah, so they go to leave it there, but then the card starts to reshuffle again. Yeah. And it's like, okay, what now? And then Matteo comes up and stands just behind Evie, and then the lover's card flips over. And it's like, yeah, of course it is. But weirdly, the lover's card, it is, but then the lover's card isn't a good card. So much to say, it's not just love and joy and happiness and everything. Yeah. It's kind of, it's a crossroads, and you have to... Yeah. Which way are you going to go with it? You've got to be very cautious. It's classic
symbolism, all this stuff, isn't it? Because it's like, whatever you think it would be, it's always not that thing. It's always something different. She's just going to keep that to herself, and he doesn't really mention anything about it, even though he's clearly getting looks from Beryl.
Yeah, like
being a bit,
she knows.
Watch out for that one kind of thing. And then they decide they make a really clever decision, don't they?
Well, they bump into Kyle, don't they, who works at the gallery, and he's all dressed up with like the Grim Reaper. He's got black clothes and his face is all skeletal.
Lots of skeletal stuff.
It looks like the face of the tarot that was just moving. So rather than have some sense and go, hi Kyle, we're leaving, they kind of go, let's follow him to the haunted house he's working at over there.
Yeah, Mr. Jittery werewolf who is jumping out of his skin because of a rooster and a cat. Let's go in a house that's literally designed to terrify you.
Yeah, to scare the bejesus out of people.
Not great decision.
Have you ever done one of these?
That's not my cup of tea. I'm not good at getting scared. I'm a wuss. I hate being scared.
I'm not great, but I got dragged into one with a mate at Warwick Castle years ago, and we got told off for swearing so much because they were like, it was like over 15s, but you stand there and it's like a dark room and there's a bed, and the bed was like, what else
are you going to say when this stuff happens to you?
And they're like, people will jump out and people will touch you, but they won't grab you and they won't do anything harsh. They will just touch you. Shoulders, arms. Don't be upset, don't be bothered. It's a fun, jolly experience. But seriously, as you stand there and somebody pats your arm in the darkness, we were effing and blinding. And then they were like, you'd walk down a dark corridor, because obviously Warwick Castle is a big old dark horrible castle.
I mean, that place, if anywhere was going to be haunted, you'd think it's places like that are gonna.
So we'd walk down like a flight of stairs, and at the bottom there's a pile of rags on the floor, and in the end you're talking to a pile of rags because you know one of them is going to be a person. And I'm walking past going, if you talk to me, I'm going to punch you. If you talk to me, I'm going to and punch him. And it just
what a great job for those people. Seriously, they must get
so much grief.
Because Evie does that, doesn't she? When they're going through and they're like, it's kind of normal and cute in that they're like jumping and she's holding on to him.
Ooh.
But she gets really scared at one point and actually whacks someone with her telekinesis, doesn't she?
She pushes them back, don't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, he falls over like, what the?
Yeah. But then they go into the penultimate section forest. And then there's like howling. And it's like, oh dear, that is not going to go down well. So it's the pathetic werewolf actor, but really Alpha is not. He just comes out,
hackles up.
Mm-hmm.
So she kind of tries to rush him through into the last room when the door slams shut and locks.
Yeah, and I picture this about the proximity of the dog in cubbyhole in Fallen. It's about that, isn't it?
Well, they kind of. It was weird. They said it's like a coffin size, didn't they? It was really. That's claustrophobic to think it anyway.
Exactly. There's no. It slams behind them. They can't get out the front. She's in front. He's behind her, and she knows he's freaking out.
Yeah, and then the walls start moving. They start shaking the walls, don't they? So he kind of shakes them back by pushing her into the hand round the neck.
Yeah.
As many
doesn't he do the whole one of your favourites? He puts her hands on the wall.
On the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I'm getting to know your things.
Yeah, my quirk.
Mention them a bit. I'll put it down, Jess. It's favourites here.
Jess likes it. But then does he cup it? He cups her lady parts then as well.
Yeah, he's like proper possessive, isn't he? And he's like all the dirty talk in her ear. And she has a moment where she's like, she's really not sure if it's like when he how far are we going to go? When he mentions about eating her all up, and she's like, is he literally going to eat me like a steak? And then it's clear that that's not quite what he means.
That's not what he means.
Kind. Nope.
Yeah.
And she's like,
she's like, good. Do I like it? Do I not? Is it a bit of both? It is the devil and the angel on the shoulder, isn't it?
Oh yeah. She's
you shouldn't like this. Oh, you should.
Yeah, it's like she's discovering things about herself. She's like, yeah, definitely. But they do get out. And she has to like leg it just to breathe, calm down, and and then go and find him, Matthew. And his eyes all like, it's awful.
Yeah, he comes out and he's a mess, and he bless him.
Yeah,
it's kind of. I think she said it was like when she first met him that day. He is that down and bad and desperate again.
That he's treated her that way because he knows he's like been pushed to the back. But he knows what Alpha was saying and what he was doing.
Yeah, he hears it all, doesn't he?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but I mean, she kind of talks him round, which is really sweet. Made me think, is that a little bit of a trope thing that goes on? Because she's like, I know Alpha wouldn't have hurt me, even though she did have that moment of wondering. But you do get that in a lot of fantasies, like with these really dangerous love interests, but there's always like quite this certainty, like in Heart of Obsidian, she's so certain that Caleb would never hurt her. And I wonder if like that's part of the appeal of like this fated mates and this connection thing, is that even though there's this very dangerous person, powerful person, they feel very safe and protected. I guess you don't really get that in real life, do you? Like, you're kind of taught, particularly as women, you're kind of taught not to just randomly trust people, especially ones who like grab you in a closet and do stuff like that.
Yeah. If you were in a pub and you think of any of these people that we've read about, if somebody grabs somebody and shoves them up the wall, the last place you are going to be is between them. You're going to be up and over the bar. You will never see me jump in many places, but if somebody grabbed someone and shoved them up a wall, I would be up footing it over that bar. I'm trying my brain is trying to think of a high jumper or a hurdler, and I can't. Linford
Colin
Christie.
Jackson.
I'd be running there we go. I'd be running as fast as Linford Christie and jumping over that bar.
Yeah, exactly. And I think maybe that's like some of the appeal of the darkness and the danger of it is just like it's something you can kind of enjoy vicariously, can't you, through these characters, whereas you've got to be a bit more cautious in real life. And
that's the whole point, isn't it? That's the fantasy, isn't it? The fantasy of it. It's having the power of the epic power, isn't it? Because you always know that at the end of the day, the woman is in control. Even the biggest, baddest, darkest. We've discussed before the amount of Hades and Persephone retellings we've seen and looked at. Yeah. And Hades is the big, epic, dark underworld. Yeah. But there's still always that one above. It's not my kids arguing. It's that it's infinity plus one. Infinity. You're always that plus one.
They're always the exception. Like pestilence. It's like I will kill everybody, but not you. You're the one exception to everything, and that's kind of the very romantic appeal to it. I guess. Yeah.
And you will save the world. You will stop me from destroying the world.
Yeah, and that's like where it goes a bit further when it's like fantasy and sci-fi romance, is because it is on that epic scale. Whereas, you can kind of have that soulmate thing in contemporary romance, and that
I was going to say, you don't get that in a historical, do you?
But it's like, it's not. It can just like up the stakes entirely,
In the end of a historical, if the woman comes away being able to have a job and keep her own money, then it's a win.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, yeah. If she's
you will take my name her own career, you will have my babies. Yeah. Usually writing in some way or another. So, and they always smell of lemons.
Who, the women or the men? Who smells of lemons?
Whenever I read historicals, the women always smell of lemons because they put it on their hands, don't they, to remove the ink. Do you not read
I'm not reading those ones. No.
Oh, okay.
That's like an extra detail. They usually smell of like rose soap.
Rose water as well. And
rose water.
I want to know, what does sandalwood smell like? Because men always smell like sandalwood.
I feel like there should be a scratch and sniff card that you should get, like a bingo card.
Book.
Like, and then when you get it, you can just scratch up. So what does this guy smell of? He smells of sandalwood. Oh, it's cloves. Cloves for this one. Oh, really? Does he smell of that?
Peppermint or toothpaste?
Yeah. Oh, I've had one that smells minty before.
Oh, have you?
Fresh. Yeah. But it is. I like them to brush their teeth. Be nice. Be minty fresh.
Yeah. You're on the candy cane sucking now, aren't you?
Yeah. And I think I have used that as well. Different book.
That will be.
We have digressed far, but it's all romance related. Let's return.
That's fine.
To them. Right.
So we've done the haunted house. We've come out of the other end. We've learned that Alpha's not as bad as Matteo thinks he is. Matteo thinks that he doesn't trust Evie saying he's not going to hurt me, but they're at a stalemate in that. Yeah, and
he kind of wants to stay away after that, doesn't he? Yeah, he gets a little bit chicken. So, he's like, don't want to.
Yeah. Well, I was like, how long does he stay away for?
And a few days. I think 3 days. 4 days, isn't it? Yeah, 3 days.
Yeah, 4 days. 3 days. And he's like, we're going to see her. And he's like, thank Christ for that.
And then they go back and finds her again at the cauldron, doesn't he? He goes there.
He does.
Once he gives in, it's quite a different sort of meet, isn't it? They kind of crossed the line with what's gone on with being at the Voodoo Festival and stuff.
Yeah, he knows. I think with what Alpha did, I think he knows he wants that, but maybe not in the way that Alpha did it. And then I think, there's kind of, he sees her across the room, and there's a realization that, hold up.
Yeah, I want this. Alpha wants this. We're kind of actually in alignment with this.
For the first time.
Yeah, so that's probably what's keeping him quiet, I guess. So
Yeah.
and he just doesn't want to stay away. He misses her, and she's missed him.
He does
as well. Oh, it's so sweet.
She has.
Yeah,
Bless them. But yeah, so and then we meet another wolfy dude.
Yeah, his cousin Nico.
So we meet Nico. Yeah, so he goes into the bar, sees Evie, and there's music playing, and he's like, "Hold up, I know that voice." Yes. And it's a bit of a weird one. I'll try not to digress with Nico because there's the intention to do so in my head. But yeah, he sees him there, and he's like, "Okay, why are you here? It's not a coincidence that you're here. It really can't be."
Yeah.
But yeah, so
and
they
it
kind of get a bit.
Becomes clear, doesn't it? He knows Violet, and Violet sees him.
Yes.
And is not very happy to see him.
No,
but then she's not happy a lot of the time, bless her.
She's not.
But
there is that, bless her.
But in a funny way. She's very sarcastic and mouthy and funny. But they chat. Mm-hmm. They both get their growl on a little bit, like, "Why are you here? What are you looking at? Which sister are you looking at?" Yeah.
He's like,
"Not that one." Yeah. "Oh, okay, it's fine."
Well, I'm looking at that one.
Around their sisters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking at that one.
Well,
I'm looking at that one.
I just heard it back to myself. I was like,
"You just totally went there now."
Yeah.
That's the dark romance. So yeah, they put their respective growls in for the sisters, and then he finds Evie, and that's all he sees. And she's as wired as he is. Yeah, she's missed him so much too, and she's like, she wants to be close. They go for a dance, don't they? While Nico's singing. I do love the fact that she goes to the bar first, and she gets the strongest drink that JJ can make, and he's like, it's quite potent, and she just necks it and just goes
I'm having it. I need a drink. Dutch courage.
And I did put a note in to say we need to remember this dance because we didn't remember the dance in the last one.
What was the dance in the last? Oh yeah.
The entire career, the whole
of theme
we just wiped away.
Sarah's dancing in Heart of Obsidian. But I mean, this isn't a thing. This is just very close.
It's just intimate, a nice, intense dance.
Lovely. And she kind of thinks, she knows how Alpha would hold her. How is Matteo going to hold her? And it turns out quite possessively too, though not quite
pretty much
on the lines of
he doesn't cup her
grabbing a bit. No.
But she does realise that she needs to get them scaped. She needs some landscaping done down south because it's getting to that stage.
She's like, this is happening. I need to get on it with the whole grooming and stuff. Yeah.
Need to get the trimmer out.
Yeah.
But I do like that somebody tastes like cinnamon, and I'm like, for win, that's me. I always taste like cinnamon.
She'd
just
like
an
you.
Obsession. Yeah, pretty much. I'm Jessica, scratch and sniff. I smell like Christmas.
Yeah. And what's cool at this point as well, which I think is also kind of a turning point for him, is he admits to her, because he's saying how he feels, that it's more than friends, obviously. But the urges, what Alpha had said to her when they were stuck in the coffin, he admits it's like, well, I do have those urges. It's not that they're not there. That is me. It's not completely separate. I wouldn't act on them unless you wanted me to.
Say the word.
Yeah, that's it. But I mean, that's the whole that's the difference, isn't it, between Alpha and him? It's like consent is kind of the thing there. I know that's not appropriate to just go and do that thing, but it doesn't mean that I don't quite like the thought of it. I don't want to. Yeah. And she doesn't mind that. She's quite happy with that and drags him off to a cupboard. So another cupboard. Yeah.
Where they experience their chemistry. We should try and see if we've got some chemistry. Yes, you do.
Test the chemistry. It's important to see whether it's going to work, whether they're moving out of the friend zone. It will work for them. And I think it does.
They're not moving. They're flying out of the friend zone.
Yeah. And they're getting very excited. I mean, she's so so into it, but he has to tell her, I have to be in control. Let me lead because I am alpha.
Yes.
So
Alpha.
Yeah. And Violet walks in and disturbs them.
Open the door. Yeah, we got to do a witches round. Jules has said you've got to come out.
Yeah, come on. Yeah, and she's such a cow to her, isn't she? She just is so sister teasing. Evie gets her own back later, doesn't she? But
yeah, she does.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can imagine them skidding through the house together, going, Jules, guess what? She's like, don't tell her. Yeah, Violet tells Jules that they were kissing, and weirdly, Jules is like, oh, she's actually all right with it. Okay, cool.
Okay, well, you just it's up to you.
Be careful.
Evie's like very much, it's me. I'm can make my own decisions. I'm a grown woman, and Jules is like, yeah, you are. Okay, so moving on. Let's go do our round.
Yeah. I have to say, the picture I got of Clara in her get-up. So she doesn't need to wear or do anything.
No,
they just all need to go in the garden.
To.
But what's she got? She's got a bedazzled crown and like a Harry Potter made one.
I think she had a crown and then she got a flowery one. It's now a flowery one. She swapped it out. She found something better and a Harry Potter one. Yeah.
And a Harry Potter one with her unicorn core and stuff. And it's just, it's a
I have to send you
like.
Some TikTok videos. There's a one I follow. This very cool lady. She's like a scary fairy princess. And it's like kind of who I would imagine Clara to be. Like, I'll have to send it and I'll have to like put a link in the show notes and stuff for people to see. Because it's what I imagine. She like goes for it. It's very funny and cool. Yeah.
That's for later.
Yeah. So the witches' round is so that they can build up their energies so that they're really magically connected. It's just like recharging their connection to their magic and replenishing their stores kind of thing, ready for them to try and break the hex on the new moon. And they all get, it's like they get kind of trippy, don't they? They're all like mumbling
it's
stuff.
Kind of so this to me, this is my Simpsons moment. Have you seen the Simpsons movie?
Yes.
Where he goes into the hut with the boob lady and he kind of does all the that sort of thinking. It reminds me of that, and they all have to go in and go down. But Evie won't let go. She can't relax into it.
Because she's getting so attached to Matthew, and she's just like so stressed. And like, who's done this to him? She's very angry about who's put this curse on her.
Who's messed with
lovely boy. And Clara just like pushes her joy the other way. Come on, cheer up. You can't bring bad energy into this. Like, all right. But it doesn't really work.
So for her. I was going to say, it kind of reminded me of the dream that she's back there and then the wolf comes. And then she's expected to come and start doing licking of the neck and stuff. But there's no kissy kisses this time.
And there's a voice, isn't there? She hears a woman's voice as well.
Feminine voice.
Almost like whoever has put this hex on is aware of her being there, and so she hears that voice. But she doesn't see anyone. She's just aware of this presence, isn't she? I think this malevolent presence.
And then rather than a kiss, he goes for her. He goes for her throat.
So quite different to the other one. And then she wakes up and kind of just like shrugs it off and pretends, I just went a bit deep there. I'm not going to mention that.
Well, I think that Clara has to pull her out, doesn't she? Because she said it was getting really weird, like malevolent.
She could, gross vibes.
And she's like, oh, no, it's fine. It's all good.
And then they're going to do, so the following day they've done that, and it's time to go and try and break the hex the following day, isn't it? And Evie goes around to Mattio's, and Nico's there.
And Violet's with Evie, and she doesn't see him for a little bit, and they're at each other as well. That's quite funny.
But I think, and that's what gives Matteo that aha moment, that we were talking about him realizing,
he clicks in
that she's his mate, because he sees Nico like brush against Violet quite aggressively, like his territory, putting the touch on, and he's like, oh, I've been doing that lots. I thought it was just about the hex, and it was like, oh no, oh my, is she meant to be my mate? It's like, and then he's like, oh, but then he doesn't say anything, obviously, because he thinks she might only be interested in this for, like, funsies. So not serious.
But I think Alpha's quite super chilled about it, and I think Matteo gets a bit panicky, and Alpha's like, yeah, did you not know?
Yeah, it's like, duh, what did you think? Obviously.
I don't want to hump just everyone. Yeah,
that's the mine moment, isn't it? He thinks mine. He's like,
I was going to say, Alpha goes all caveman, must plant my seed, must fill her with cub.
Yeah, oh my God. He's like, calm down. We've only known her about a month. Cool. Be cool. She may not want that. What's going on?
They kind of part ways, and they drive off to this wooded area to have the ceremony for the full moon, because it's a nice area. They know that when Matteo finally gets to shift, he's gonna need to be out sort of dealing with his wolf and the bloodlust and everything, so they found the perfect spot for it and for him to run.
And he's quite worried about what they're going to do to protect themselves, when he shifts, because he's thinks it's going to happen.
No, he goes into the circle, and he strips off a little bit.
Got to take his shirt off for the scent, obviously. She needs
she gives him a sniff. And I think they kind of do they organise that they're going to have a date after this? They're finally going to go on their first date.
They're going to go on a date. Bless.
And then
it's kind of like the equivalent of a film, isn't it? Like, when I get home from the war, I'm going to get married. And it's like, dear. Don't
say these things. You know the bad things are going to happen.
Jinx yourself.
So
and she tries to get the hex off, but it's not working, and it puts him in so much pain.
And then all of these glyphs kind of light up on his body, always with the glyphs. These are red this time. Glyphs. I thought that was a nice change. No gold ones today. But, So
and they don't kind of recognize them. They look familiar, but they don't know exactly what they are.
There's only the one at the Highlander. There's just one. They know one. There could be only one. So and they think it means something to do with murder, which is weird.
Not nice. Then it's all horrible, and he's just in so much pain. And he sees, and Alpha's there, reacts like a wounded animal would, sees who's causing him pain, and lunges for Evie. But luckily, Jules is there. And she knocks him out.
Stops him. Yeah.
With her magic. Like just in midair as well. It did sound quite funny. Just him hanging there.
Well, did you ever watch Charmed?
No.
So I think one of them's got something similar, where she kind of just goes with her hands and everything stops.
Oh wow.
So,
that's cool.
I think I don't know.
God, I could do with that. I could really do with that.
And just move things around.
Or
it's like the one out of X-Men, is it Quicksilver, where he stops and have you seen that where he slows it all down?
Absolutely. And he walks around and he's just
he
like
moves
touching
all the
little things to make them all move. That's an amazing scene in one of them.
It is. That's the sort of thing that I'd want to do, where you put like hands on faces
and cheeky things, like stick their finger up their nose and stuff like that.
You'd have so much fun. But so she freezes him midair, and she kind of like pulls him along, doesn't she, like a kid's toy?
Levitates him to the car, and he's so huge they have to like put down the seats to get him in. He's completely knocked out, bless him. And they're very shaken.
So Evie's not in a good place, because not only could she not break the hex, she caused him epic amounts of pain while doing it, and he still didn't fully shift. So,
less
it's layer upon
about
layer.
The lunging at him thing. Bless her, because she insists he sleeps in her room when they get back, and they're like, "Are you sure he just tried to tear your face off?" I'm like, "No, it's fine. He'll be fine.
He won't hurt me."
I want him. Shirtless Matteo is going in my bed. Thank you. No one else's bed. So Yeah. And I think Clara
So,
gives him a little
a
boost,
little boost
doesn't
of
she?
joy. Yeah. To
So
chill him
he's
out.
all peaceful, Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah. So she's sort of chilling next to him. Obviously, she can't sleep. She reads a bit up and tries to figure out what's what, and brushes pushes the hair from his forehead.
Oh, yeah.
And then he wakes up and grabs her.
Staring at the sleeping partner, isn't it?
It's always a bit creepy,
I
isn't
like.
it?
Do you think it's creepy?
Yeah.
Did you never do it? Have you never done the staring?
I'm a really heavy sleeper, so to me, it's kind of,
you're the one that stared at.
I'm the starey rather than the starer.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it is creepy if you wake up and someone's staring at you. But if you can get a sneaky staring while they're asleep, it's fine.
I suppose that's the thing. Yeah. So I just sleep like the dead. So yeah, if anybody kind of is staring at me, it would be for a long time, and I'd never ever know.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a weird.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not talking about the like Edward Cullen type staring. Like I'm just going to come in the corner of the room. Oh God, yeah. No. That happens in Heart of Obsidian too, doesn't it? He goes to have a stare at her while she's sleeping, and she just kind of knows he's there. She's just like, just get in bed. Just, yeah.
He goes in as well to sharpen her knife as well. That's when he goes in there as well.
I mean, that's sweet. You know, who would have won that?
Okay, so yeah, I can go for that where he goes and sharpens the knife. The staring is just a bit weird.
As long as it's your knife. Yeah.
As long as not somebody else's. The other dude stood in the corner watching you.
While he's watching you. Just
a room full of people standing still. People could do that. Everybody could come in my room and just watch me sleeping.
Oh no. Oh God. Nightmare.
He's watching him sleep. Yeah. He wakes up, grabs her wrist, flips her over. He's like, whoa. Because obviously when he was last awake, he was in a field with no shirt on.
Yeah, he has no memory of what's gone on, does he? Which is
joy.
Good for him. Yeah, bless him. And he's like, why are you here? Well, you're in my room. She's like, I'm actually here. Oh, okay. And he gets since she's quite stressed.
Yes. I do like the alphaness comes out with him. He's like, well, how else was it going to get in your bedroom, you know? Yeah. Didn't think it'd be like this, but hey.
Yeah, it would be gutting, really, wouldn't it? If it had worked and he'd been alpha and he just had no memory of it, of everything coming, everything he wanted happening. And it was just like, oh. But no, she's stressed, so he offers to de-stress her.
Yeah, and how do you do that? With the sexy dance.
That's it. You got to have a release. And she's like, oh, I'm not sure, because she thinks he wants to go like the full way. Fourth base? That would be.
Now
we know.
Home run.
What does he do? Third base?
I think he does third base, yeah.
Is that third base? Have you forgotten now? You learned them,
pretty much.
You've forgotten them.
Yeah, it doesn't take much with things I really have no interest in.
No, exactly. How much do we use it just for this? I don't use that in any other walk of life ever.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. But I do love the fact she's got cat and dog pajamas on.
Yeah. Raining cat and dog, isn't it?
Raining cats and dogs pajamas while he's going down on her.
Yeah, brilliant. And she's very happy.
Of course she is.
He relaxes her. She falls off to sleep. They have a lovely huggle.
They do. But then, he wakes up the next morning alone and he just hears god-awful singing from downstairs.
Yeah,
and he turns into a bit of a dickhead Mateo in this bit.
You don't like this bit. I think it's kind of that thing of, it's not nice. I don't like snooping. But I guess how else would he have found
out? It could have been
I think
on
it's
the
a
side.
bit plot device. I mean, it was a little bit, but it's a tablet. If she had sketches out, it would have been easier.
It would have been better. But
exactly. But it's like you don't accidentally see things on people's devices.
Well, he opens the drawer in the end and looks at all of it.
Rifles through her stuff.
Yeah, so his justification is he's got Alpha in his head going, do it, which I can imagine is pretty difficult to channel out.
But he manages a lot to ignore them.
Yeah, he kind of ignores it by opening her tablet and mooching through. So what she's been doing, she's been drawing her comic books, and she's got a series called Witches in the City on the tablet. Then he rifles through the drawers and finds something called The Wolfman, and he loves it. It's fantastic. It's really, really good. And he doesn't understand why she's hiding it.
Yeah.
But, you know, he kind of, he puts it all back. Obviously, it's hidden, so she's hiding it for a reason.
Yeah. And he goes out, joins them for breakfast, and there's obviously a bit of a vibe. Violet's a bit screechy.
Violent.
Violent Violet. And he finds out. Jules handily took a photo of him lunging for Evie last night with the symbols, so they could get it. And he doesn't want to see, but he sees what he did, and he feels terrible. And they
Alpha doesn't care though. He's like,
what do you expect? I was being attacked.
Yep.
Or it felt like I was
Wolfie,
being
Wolfie.
attacked.
Yep. So, then they speak to her mom.
Oh,
I like her
I
mom.
love that bit. Oh God, there's an amazing quote from Alpha.
What did you get?
They do a video call because their parents live in Switzerland. Is that right?
Yes.
And she wants to scope him out. So he comes into the shop, doesn't she? And she has a good look at him. She's like, yeah, you got kind eyes. I like you. You're all right. And and Alpha's like, that's great. Yeah, we've got the green light from the mum. He's like, we should stake our claim. And she's like, calm down. He's like, obviously, I'm not going to bang her on the kitchen table in front of her mother. I was like, oh, he has limits. Then he says it so indignant, as if it was like out of his character. and Matteo's being like unreasonable, thinking he would be like that. Like, not really. Maybe that's a sign of him softening, I think.
Do you know what? I think we could just make a whole episode of reading out what Alpha says.
We totally could. Yeah. But I mean, I think that would just be an audiobook of it.
Yeah, pretty much. If it's a good narrator, I may actually buy it just to hear them read that stuff out.
Do you think they'd have to do like, I wonder if
a growly
they've done
voice.
an audiobook and they've done 2 voices, maybe they do a different voice.
That would be so cool.
Because it's first person, isn't it? But you need 3 voices.
Yeah, for her. So we chat to Mum, and she's kind of, she is quite an epic, powerful witch as well, obviously. And
she was the first siphon, wasn't she? Before
she's passed the book to Jules.
Yeah.
So we find out that it's not actually a curse that they're dealing with. It's some kind of blood magic, which, as the name suggests, is going to be sacrificial and very dark. Yeah, it does not sound brilliant, really. So, you need a lot of blood to make these spells work. So it's not a good thing. So they need a book, which is weirdly just entitled of Entomology of Signs. You need a book, Entomology of Witch Signs. Oh, okay.
Ronseal book there.
Ronseal book of magic.
And of course, to get the book, what do they need to do?
You need to speak to a very interesting chappie by the name of Reuben.
Reuben the vampire, who would be normally in charge, like we were saying before. Yeah. Normally, the head of a paranormal area would be the most powerful vampire, the leader of the coven of vampires, or what is it, a coven they call it?
It's Coven of Witches. I don't know if it says.
Definitely Coven of Witches. I'm not sure if it is for vampires. They might have a different name.
We should find out.
But yeah, he's not. He's second to Jules.
Yeah, he's been usurped by Jules. Jules is the most powerful supernatural within all of New Orleans.
But she does not want to text him. Ask him for a favour.
Bless.
There's history there. We know there is. It's so obvious.
Yeah, but she texts him, and he's like, I can get your book. I know a man who can, but you need to go on a date with me to get it. He's a man with a plan, he is, bless him. And Jules is not happy. She's like, nope. But
she thinks she's going to get around it, doesn't she? She's like, right.
He does.
Evie, Mattia, come with me. We're going on this date. You're coming with me.
Coffee now. Yeah. And they're like, first date? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So it's a double date then. Double first date. So Reuben owns a vampire bookshop coffee bar place. It's like, come on.
It's Art
Why is there not this place
Deco
here?
styly, and he's so smooth and dapper, isn't he? He comes out,
Yes.
and even Evie, who's like clearly majorly in love already.
With
like,
Matteo,
wow.
but yeah,
he's another league kind of thing, this dude.
But as with them, that he dresses in like old school style, doesn't he? He's like 40s and he's all in the full outfit, and it's just fantastic.
With the waistcoat, it's amazing.
It's quite a lewd waistcoat, isn't it?
Yeah, because it's just a repeated pattern, and then when it comes to sit down, they see it's like a viper entwined around like an ecstatic woman, fair lady.
But yeah, Jules kind of goes out of her way to not sit by him and fills up every space. So he just picks up a chair and puts it next to her and sits beside her.
This uber formidable witch who, and she's just so unsettled and uncomfortable around him.
Yeah, with Reuben.
Proper prickly and defensive. We are totally digressing on Jules and Reuben. Because,
well, this is it. There's so many of the side characters, so I'm trying to just put that in and then we'll move on. Yeah. So he can get the book. He's kind of like, why don't you have it? And we kind of get the snippets about how the book is quite... Mum said in the last chapter, get the book, read what you need, and then burn it. Because
which is why it's magic. So rare.
yeah. So magic is kind of can have this power over you, any sort of magic. So the darker it is, the darker you can become with this magic. So not many good witches will know these signs and understand them. So get it, find what you need, and then get rid of the book. Yeah.
And this book is particularly, it was like the safest version you could get because the spells weren't in it. It's just literally about what the signs mean.
Yeah, what they mean.
And Evie kind of explains a bit about the magic as well, doesn't she? How it works.
The black magic.
And like the witch sign is used to help them to connect things, I think.
It enhances abilities that they don't have. I think is what it says. So if they all have innate abilities in various areas. So if they can have these signs and bits and pieces, it can enhance the areas that they don't have. Yeah, that's why people drag into it. So, but Reuben kind of he's a nice guy. He's like, oh, I'll get your book and I'll look into that. But me and you, Jules, we need to figure out this date.
This ain't the date.
Evie and Matteo, Evie and Matteo kind of just leave them bickering. Like, you sort that. We're gonna go off and sort our own date.
She's like, she leaves these conversations where they see them talking, but you don't hear what they're saying, and it's totally going to be later. I also did like at this point, because Reuben's so like cool and helpful and stuff. I like that the dynamic between the creatures is quite different to normal, because usually vampires and werewolves are like sworn enemies, aren't they?
There's lots of hatred in things, isn't there? Yeah.
But not so much in this summer. It's more the dynamic is that the witches are quite snobby and think they're kind of better than everybody else. And then all the other, the vampires and Grimms and werewolves are kind of...
Well, this is it.
Yeah.
So the Grimms are quite secretive, but they work for Reuben. Because there's we missed it, it's not necessary here, but there's a darkness. They can pull out darkness in people, so they're good to lure people in to vampire places. But so they all work with each other, which is it's quite nice, isn't it?
I liked it. I thought it was different. Nice little change.
So we now have Evie and Matteo's proper first date. So they go to his place. Oh, and she's made her a big old geek den.
He's like, dinner and a movie, and she's like, really? Oh, it's a bit cliche. He's like built it up too much with the voodoo festival, and we've taken her to the theme
and with the big old Marvel-esque grill.
Yeah, but she doesn't realise he's proper pulled out all the stops, hasn't he? He's like themed. He's got room. Amazing.
R2D2 popcorn things and lightsabers and all sorts. He's made
it Ewok cushions.
Den of geekish.
And he's made his meat pies for her.
Oh, he has made some meat pies for her to taste.
So she gets
award-winning meat.
Award-winning meat pie.
So obviously lightsabers, award-winning meat pies, there's a few more kissy sexy times.
They get close, but he's very clear, it's like, it's not going to be this time. It's, you know,
No.
I'm gonna look at. And Alpha's like, what are you doing? What's the matter? And even she's like, why not?
Yeah, I'm here, I'm up for it. And he's like, no, because I think they have a chat about Derek a little bit, don't they?
They do.
And he's like, I'm not doing this on the back of that.
Yeah, it's like first date.
Oh yes,
he's
admitted to the pictures, hasn't he?
He does, because he wants to talk. He knows he wants to broach the subject, and he gets round to it somehow, doesn't he? I don't know how he gets into it, but he admits that he's seen them, and she's a bit annoyed, which is fine.
Yeah, of course she is.
But they move on.
And then she tells him that dickhead Derek was.
Yeah. And him and Alpha are very much on the same page with hearing about him, aren't they? That's the gutting.
I was going to say they're not on the same page about letting her go home.
No. When they're talking about Derek, and like they both becomes the top of the list, and Alpha gets out his spoon again.
Yeah, he's on my top 5.
And this time, instead of Matteo being like, "Why a spoon?" he's like, "Yeah, totally. Yeah, I'm with you with the spoon." So they're like completely in agreement about
I'm
Derek.
opening the cutlery drawer for you, mate.
Yeah, exactly. A dull spoon. He says, agree.
Yeah.
And
so on the back of that, he doesn't want to.
No, and he talks her through it a bit, and he kind of he points out that Derek has got completely invalid opinion, and there's some discussion about like art and how you value it, and you know, and him being an artist, and you know, the ups and the downs of it, but I'm telling you, you know, to go for it. So that's the nudge.
What are you scared of? Have a try. Yes.
Do it.
Yeah, she's like, he's like, what are you scared of? Why are you publishing it? Why are you doing this? And she's like, I'm scared of everything.
Yeah. And what if it's rubbish?
Knows.
And he's like,
what if nobody
rubbish.
Likes it? You think it is. It's not.
Yeah.
But it's
you like my art.
But you value art. I value art. It's good. But so I've underlined next time. So this time is this time is no, but next time all bets are
and they
off.
agree that together, don't they? They say next time. So it's they're on a promise, but then they get a lot of life stuff happens.
Next time doesn't happen for a while.
No. Z gets himself into a fight with another cat. But
he's saving Fred, isn't he? I like that.
It's sweet. Yeah,
it's like siblings. You can.
Him. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you can. You can't be mean to my sister, but I can.
No. Yeah, that's it. I can poke them with a spoon, but you can't. Sort of thing.
Yeah, you can't. So we go to Beryl.
Because she can do some healing, and she's got a menagerie of animals. She kind of tells Evie off a bit for keeping him alive for so long. But she also, Spirit tells her to give Evie this special tea, doesn't she? Yeah, which sounds gross. She says it's a bit bitter.
It does.
But she says you'll know when to use it to give you a boost and give you some focus. And Evie's like, all right, fair enough. She takes it.
Cool. I think they have a chat about what they're trying to do with this spell as well. So they chat about where's the wolf, and they chat and go over the spell, and they think there's something not just to do with annoying the wolf, but it's trying to harness him in some way. It's like a byproduct what's happened to his wolf. It's not the purpose of the spell. The spell's not been put on him to stop him from shifting, but it's just part of it. They kind of come to that realization, don't they? And then they have Thanksgiving. They have a lovely moment. Jules does a big cook up of everything, and she invites all the staff and everyone round, and Matteo goes and Nico goes, and Clara goes out and tries to invite a Grimm who doesn't want to come. And Evie do we think that's the same Grimm that is always the Grimm? Yeah, it definitely is, because he's smoking. The Grimm we meet right at the beginning is smoke. He's leaning up. He's got very James Dean, lean against the wall, smoking a cigarette. And again, it's another conversation that is you don't hear, but you just get the idea that there's you just see going on there, because it's going to be ultimate Grumpy and Sunshine. Totally. Yes, it will be. It's going to be so good. I think the only other than Clara and the Grimm,
the only other plot point in that I think is relevant is that Evie has the moment she realizes she loves him. They have a moment when they go around and give thanks, and he's doing these lovely little holding her hand or touching her knee, and he gives her a kiss on the cheek, and it feels like it's permanent. It feels like forever. She's like, oh my God, yes, I probably love this.
Dun, dun,
but she
dun.
doesn't know he's in it for long-term things either, because they've not had that conversation. It's been a month. They've had one date official, so it's like you probably wouldn't.
I was going to say, this is probably like date number 6, isn't it? When you honestly think about it, but honestly, one proper date.
Absolutely. And they go,
they go to the cocktail party.
Yeah,
I love the fact that Ruben is sort of at the front of the door with it,
all dapper as well. You could see, like, I thought he was going to go in.
He's going to go in,
and he doesn't. He's just there to give him the book and to freak Jules out.
Yeah, it's like,
fair.
Well, I just love it. It's like the fact that witches aren't going to invite me here, so
Yeah, it's that's the thing. You get the snobbishness of the witches, and it's all about the networking and stuff between them, the political stuff, and he knows he's not really welcome, so he's just come to give the book and give the lusty eyes to Jules and then wander off.
And then disappear magically.
They go in, and Derek's there with his fiance, who he's he's as much a dick to her as he is to Evie. It's just awful. This man,
when you read it, so he steps in front of this woman, and they're like, "Are you going to introduce us?" He's like, "Oh, that's the fiance behind me." Cool.
Yeah, you think it's bad enough if it's just a date, but it's actually his fiance.
Yeah, fiance.
And he's all like, "Oh, Evie, we knew it. We were lovers for 2 years."
If you were stood there, you would be doing that, wouldn't you? Going just throwing up in your mouth just a little bit.
And
Jules
we were 2 years. Doesn't she? Yeah.
She does, bless her. But it's not enough, is it? He kind of still pushes over it. And then
and he starts to belittle her, doesn't he, about her comics?
Are you still drawing your little pictures?
Poking in the eye.
We both made the same noise then.
And it's a whole it's kind of like a baby in the corner moment, isn't it? You think
it is. The wolf crashes the party.
Totally comes striding in his tux.
Oh, he's super dapper, isn't he?
Eyes only for Evie.
But he comes in. I was gonna say, sorry, I'm interrupting.
No, it's fine, carry on. I was only making noises, ooey-ahhing noises. I wasn't saying anything of any relevance.
He comes in, and he doesn't sort of turn straight on Derek. He shakes his hand and he chats, and he's like, "Oh, so you're Derek?" And he's like, "Oh no, doctor. I'm a doctor, Dr. Douche." And then Mateo's like, "I don't care. I'm just here for the lady." And then he's
not bothered. Go off for some sexy
doctor of what? They do have some sexy dancing. And then it's next time.
It's on. They agree.
It's so next time.
Next time's happening.
But so the next chapter, I would be interested to see Alpha's perspective on this chapter.
My God.
It will be fun.
I mean, it's like we've said in the past, when you finally get to the sex scenes, there's not a lot we can really talk about. Really.
No, because it's just this one has a bit more to it. This one has a bit more to it that we need to. I think Alpha's true dominance comes out. He's kind of they go through the yard and through the statues and through past Mateo's work, and Alpha is just kind of full dominant. He's flinging his clothes, he's stalking her through the apartment,
snaps the tie. Very sexy move. Snaps the tie off. She jumps. Woo.
And he's kind of like, "You 4s now. You've got to be." He's got to mount her. He's Alpha. He
explains it, doesn't he? He's like, "I've got to be. I've got to be in charge. We've got to do it this way."
Yes.
All right then.
And she submits to Mateo, doesn't she? She's like, "Okay, I submit." Mateo and Alpha kind of, no, Alpha. Yeah. So she has to submit. So she realizes that Mateo doesn't need or want her submission. It's just the wolf.
And that actually, to be fair, that develops in the scene as well. And that once Alpha's had that submission, Matteo comes back and she knows that it's him again. The vibe kind of changes, and he's quite open to her dominating too. So there's more equality between them two than when Alpha's there.
Yeah, he flips her onto her back and he's like, hello, I can look at you.
So she gets the best of both worlds, depending on what she's in the mood for, really. Yeah.
It's a throuple without.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's what I always thought about this, was that it's like perfect, because depending on what you like most in your hero, you get it either way. If you like alphas, you get alpha to the max. And if you like beta,
if you like a little bit more beta,
you get Matteo is kind and sweet and sensitive, and a little bit more consideration. So you win. It's win-win. Definitely.
Yeah, you get the polyamory without having arguments about who's what, where, when, and why, and how.
Sure. No jealousy.
Job done.
Really. It's all there.
It's all part and parcel.
And
so they mate.
It's very good. They're very happy.
And then they have after pie sex. No, after sex pie. After pie
sex pie. And then more after pie sex.
And then more sex.
I would say.
And then more pie. And then it's the morning.
Yeah. And they're quite smug. And then Alpha's so smug, and you're welcome. He completely disregards any work that let's be fair. I think Matteo's been really smooth.
He's done some good
stuff. The way he Alpha doesn't appreciate any kind of seduction other than telling her what to do.
No subtlety
and clearly Evie likes what Matteo has to offer too. She's not just there for Alpha, even if she likes a little bit of that. It's like, if Matteo was there, I don't think she'd be keen, not just Alpha. So, yeah.
But I do. He does sit there like, but yeah, you're still welcome.
Yeah, that's it. He don't care.
But no, I did. They said something. So he makes a breakfast, and it's all really nice. And it was, she made like a giggle, like a Christmas morning sound. And I thought, that is a perfect description. I love that.
Yeah, and she shows him that she's loaded up her comics, hasn't she? Like the first 3 of her witches in the city, and she thanks him for giving her the nudge. She's put it on like a Wattpad type place. I didn't remember.
Yeah, it's called. Yeah, Webtoons is on there.
Webtoons. Okay,
it's really good. You should get there.
Oh yeah, I didn't know. Is that a real thing then?
It is, There's a thing which is Hades and Persephone again called Lore Olympus.
So
there's
where that is.
Really,
I have heard
it's really
that.
good.
Yeah.
Yes, go and read it. It's really cool. Nice. So yes, there we go. Plug for somebody else. But so she's uploaded it, and they have their breakfast, and then he's gonna walk her home.
Yeah, to
like the walk of shame, but she's not ashamed at all.
No,
and then they go past
the sculpture. Is done,
sculpture.
Doesn't she? Yeah, past the sculpture, and she sees that it's her, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like,
will Sandra be pissed?
Nah. Don't care. It's what I've done.
Nope. Well, yeah, she kind of asked for the hope, strength, and love, and this is what you are to me. This is what it is.
He's and told her. Yeah. But he's like, you don't need to say it back. It's fine. I know it's too soon, even though she feels. But it's feels. Okay. Yeah.
Yes. And then Alpha has his breakfast of champions.
Breakfast of champions.
AKA that's sexy times.
Yeah. And then it's off for more coffee.
Yeah. That's just me. Let's get up and have coffee. Let's go out and have coffee. We need some coffee. So they go and get coffee.
Coffee time. And they bump into Sandra again.
Slave to Costa.
Yeah. And she asked about the commission, and he says it's ready, and she's like, can you bring it around this afternoon? Fine, because Evie's got to go and do stuff. She got work in the shop that day, I think, hasn't she? So they part ways after that, don't they?
They do. They part ways on the lovely moment. They've had coffee. They've had their morning after. It's really nice, and it's like, why did you do that for? Because
you can see the percentage coming up, can't you? You're like, something's going to happen.
you know where we're like 84%.
Yeah.
So yeah, we go to the shop and they're looking over the symbols with Jules and figuring out what's going on. And they kind of twig that all of these links are to do with the power that is created with them. So the bridge is the power that holds the layers of the spell together. The murder is kind of taking life. That's the power of that. The immortality is having life forever. So they think that the link to all of it is power. And that the key, they've looked at this picture with Matteo and all of the symbols are duplicated all over him, apart from one, which is this key that's kind of placed just about his heart, I think, on his left pec.
Yeah, I think so.
So, yeah, and they kind of figure out, they've read up on it, and it is whoever created the spell, that key is linked to her and what she wants.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but they don't know what that is yet.
No. Well, we're going to find out. So, Matteo goes over to Sandra's to deliver the sculpture. She's there. And
she lives in a really pretty house.
Really pretty, lovely big garden. She asks him to bring it out to the back. He walks past a bit of a strange statue, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And
so
he has what's going on here? Thinks she's just being a bit arty-farty.
Well, yeah, it's Medusa, isn't it? So if you if you were raised with me and the Harryhausen stuff, you know what happens. Medusa loses her head and it's held up by Perseus. So this statue,
and it's
backwards.
That's it. It's a backward statue, and he finds that quite strange. And actually, that's a little bit of a link in, because do you remember there was a Medusa image in one of Evie's dreams as well, very briefly.
I don't remember that.
Yeah. I don't know if it was the trance one or the first one of them. And he moves the thing, and she's like, "That's really heavy." He's like, "Oh, it's lighter than you think." Not really. He's got werewolf strength.
Yeah.
That's quite cool.
Yeah, we don't tell Sandra that, though.
No. She don't know about none of that stuff, because she's a human.
She though. So, he goes through the garden and he finds like a big slabby squared area hidden amongst all the flowers.
Just conveniently ready for the statue. Pops it down.
Bit like a slab of some sort of ceremonial significance,
sacrificial plinth type thing,
sort of kind of thing.
Yeah, and she just changes. Her manner just changes, and Alpha's straight in there, isn't he? He's like, his instincts.
Yeah, he's like
straight away killer.
Yeah, he growls, doesn't he?
Now. Yeah. And Matthew doesn't, because this is Sandra, who's been his friend for years and worked with him, and he just doesn't quite know what's going on. And
then she starts to levitate.
And she surrounds him with a ring of witch fire, doesn't she? And reveals that it's her that's done it, that's put this hex on him. And how did they get away with it? How did because normally they can sense each other, but she's the kind of witch that's an influencer, which is like one of the other sisters who's not there. She's away, and an influencer.
Livy, is it? Yeah.
Livy, an influencer can just basically, it's kind of like a glamour thing, isn't it? They can put
you saw what I wanted you to see.
Yeah, exactly. So she's tricked him this entire time, hidden the fact that she's a very old, very powerful witch who uses blood magic.
Did you get the fact that she's then British? Like all good villains.
Suddenly she's evil, so she's British. So it's fine.
No, I
we
just
do
had
the
a
best
moment
villains.
of wondering.
We know.
We do. But I just had a moment of wondering what accent she had, because I always find it really weird that British people are villains, but you'd imagine like a Scouser coming out. Or like Andy Deck coming in,
villains from Eton. They're not they're not villains from South London or from Cornwall.
I was gonna say or from Birmingham, all right. It's not got the same ring to it.
Accent. They're particularly for villains and princes. It's just one. Other than that, if there's gonna be like a brogue, then it's got to be Scotland or Ireland,
Scottish,
isn't it? For Irish, like British. But if it's English, there is only the Queen's English. Yeah.
It would make Kingsman so much funnier if they all had like very specific dialects and love it.
Totally.
Anyway, yeah, so she's British. What? Pip pip. And I don't know why I said that. So she basically, she's influencer. She's there. She's been trying to corrupt Matteo because he is basically really nice and sweet, and she's had to go really, really dark to do it, to get inside and get at his wolf. Yeah, because she needs him.
But when she saw him with Evie that time, it changed her plan. And she realised his feelings for Evie. And she figured out that this was even better, is that if she can get him to be so wound up and stressed and his wolf to be so feral that when he's finally released, he kills the woman that he loves because he doesn't realise, then it will be the ultimate blood sacrifice, which is hugely, hugely powerful and exactly what she wants for this. It's obviously a long game. So she nicks his phone. Telekinesis the phone out of the thing and texts Evie to get her to come. And we flip back to she's locked him in place as well, hasn't she? He can't even move.
He's in the chained curse.
Ring of fire and
ring of fire.
Ring of fire.
It burns.
So,
we go to Evie, who's drinking her tea.
Yeah, she's decided to have her tea because she just needed tea. There was no tea available. It seemed the right time. And she's feeling a bit worn out. So she thought energy boost would probably be a good thing. Yeah.
But so she's there with Clara and she gets this text message and she gets it's a bit off.
Well, it sounds like perfect phishing scam language. It's that you're not going to believe what I found out. That is absolutely
Sandra,
phishing scam language.
Sandra knows, but she won't tell me.
Yeah. I need you to come here and help me talk to her. Yeah.
If you're too busy, I'll stay here with her by myself.
Yeah, and then she gets the old green eye monster. Was like, what? You're going to stay with Sandra, are you? All day?
Yeah, that pretty lady we keep seeing in the coffee shops.
No tar. Yeah. I'm on my way.
Priorities.
Yeah, so
Clara goes with her.
Yeah, Evie head over. And Clara's just chatting away. It's quite normal until they get there and she senses just evil, doesn't she? She's like, this place is bad. And so Evie says they message Jules, doesn't she?
Yeah, text Jules and they let them know. She said, okay, I'm coming. Ruben's going to come too, because why are they together?
Why? That's what I wondered. Yeah. Were they just having a meeting, were they? And they were like, it's going to take them at least half an hour because that's how long it's taken them to drive there. I don't think it did. I think someone might have used some vampire super speed and carried Jules. But maybe we'll find out about that later too.
Where we are, so many days left or books.
Yeah.
But so they're kind of like, okay, we're going to wait. We'll wait for Jules. And then Matteo screams and Evie just goes.
Yeah, she can't stand by and wait for that. And she legs it out. Clara follows. Clara gets knocked, doesn't she? And when she's
so I think Evie gets close. So the way I saw it, Evie kind of sees him and I think he's locked there screaming and pounding, but she doesn't, there's no sound, there's no anything. So she kind
it's
of
really
knows
odd moment, isn't it?
Yeah. And then she hears like the clunk as Clara's coming, something's hit her and knocked her down. And then Evie just feels the push through the flames. And
she goes in and Clara tries to use some of her magic to help. And gets smacked on the head with something and knocked out, like the telekinesis. Yes. Sandra's there, and it becomes evident that it's a trap. And Matteo says, I'm so sorry. And
I'm really, really sorry.
It gets bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, the key happens. It's unlocked, isn't it?
Yeah, it's above her hands, isn't it?
Yeah.
So she pushes it through into Matteo.
Mm-hmm. And it releases the wolf.
Yeah, the chain is no longer holding.
No. So they're trapped in the circle together, and Sandra uses her influence to change how Alpha is seeing Evie, making her look like
Evie's
her,
appearance.
because she's like, he'd never hurt me. Even Alpha would never hurt me. But yeah,
hurt me,
he doesn't like, definitely hurt her. So she feels like she's only got two choices to begin with, doesn't she? Because he like goes to attack her.
Yeah.
She's using her telekinesis, which has been amped up a bit, hasn't it? All of her powers. She's very focused, even though she's terrified, thanks to the tea.
Yes.
And pushing him back, but he's hitting the trap that they're in, the fire. It's, she's having to slam him back against it. So it's like either she's going to end up killing him by pushing him away all the time from attacking her, or get attacked and die.
Yeah, he's going to kill her.
And then
there's a little voice.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
I don't know how it would sound. Excuse me.
Wouldn't it be funny in the middle of all that drama? Evie, there's a third option. You're a hex breaker.
Yeah, you can break, you can twist, you can change.
Yeah.
And she's like, yes, I can.
Taskmaster.
Of course I can.
Warp it to fit your needs.
Yes.
Yeah, and her self-esteem has been building up over this time as well, which is the lovely thing about their relationship too, isn't it? She's mending the insecurities she's had after her relationship with Derek that have been there.
Yes.
She's got to this point and she's feeling confident and with it, and she remembers how powerful she is.
Yes, she's kick-ass. So she kind of puts the plan into place that she's going to kind of bait him a little bit.
Yes.
Takes a hit, flicks him over, breaks his leg. Sorry, Alpha.
Right.
Bless.
Sandra gets quite pissed off about that because he's incapacitated.
Yeah, she's not a happy bunny. So she tries to tweak her spell to fix it. Mateo's kind of torn as well. He's kind of trying to push through still. Yeah. And then Evie kind of realizes it's not power that she's after that's fueling it. It's actually hate. Yeah. So how do you counter hate people? With love. Evie.
That's the one. Little voice again. Is this like her alpha voice? If she had one inside.
It's like the one out of Up, where Alpha in Up, where he's got that little his voice thing's broken.
Oh yeah, like the dog, yeah, and it's the Doberman.
Alpha's like the Rottweiler.
Yeah, squeaky voice. Oh, it's going to be another GIF that's perfect for this.
Yeah, it's love. So she starts shunting all this stuff.
She creates her own powerful counter spell of love, full of images of her and her sisters, and them together. Oh,
and Thanksgiving and the meals and all the good stuff. Yeah. And she shoves it out. Them dancing. Remember the dancing.
Very important.
Yeah.
And
she slams her counter to him. Green flash to knock out the red.
And he does. He gets there, doesn't he? At first, you're not sure. It's a little bit. But she recognizes that Sandra's power has gone, in that she looks like herself now as well. Yes. He kind of pulls her, doesn't he, towards him.
He's kind of coming over, and you don't know what he's going to do. And then she kind of lifts her hand, that hand up moment, and then rather than bite, he kind of licks her hand.
Yeah, that's it. And he starts having a snuffle. Sniff, good whiff of the scent, probably. And it doesn't do it. And Sandra just like, what? How is this possible that this alpha wolf has been locked up for that long and isn't attacking? And Jules arrives with Ruben, doesn't she?
Yeah. And bitch goes down.
Bitch goes down because she reveals, doesn't she? The wolf doesn't need blood anymore once he's found his mate.
his mate.
He's not ruled by it anymore. So, I mean, even if they didn't know, Jules has obviously just told
Jules
them.
has figured it out. Spoilers.
Yeah. And then she just sucks all the power out of that witch.
Yes. Enforcer.
Cool.
She does, she turns into like the little haggard Beauty and the Beast thing at the beginning.
It's very like Red Woman in Game of Thrones, isn't it? Did you see that bit?
Yeah. Yes, where she's all weird.
She reveals she's like ancient old crone underneath all of the illusions and things. And they let her go. Do you think this is going to come back in a later thing?
Well, that was the thing. You see, my brain went to like Tangled with like Mother Gothel, where she kind of goes, but then she falls out the window and dies, which would have been a better option.
Yeah, I mean, they say that, but she won't live long. So, I suppose maybe
she's human now, isn't she?
Yeah, she has no powers. So everything has come back, all of her mortality. And if she's hundreds of years old, I guess your body would just end up poof, to like dust. You're not supposed to be there. It's just odd when you don't see it. I always abide by the rule. You don't see a death on the page, or you don't see it on the screen.
You never truly know.
You don't know.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
We've got 3 books left.
Yeah, this is it. We'll see.
But so it's all nice, and she kind of asks Alpha to let Matteo back in. Yeah. And he's like, no, I need you. And she's like, you will get no more sexy times if you do not let Matteo back in, please.
And not having sex with a werewolf, not happening.
Nope.
Oh, sorry, just
so he does.
Werewolf, clearly.
Same different. But he does recede back in.
Yeah, she said, please. And he's like, all right.
Yes.
As you said, please. Not like pestilence. Yeah. You don't like that word.
He hates the word pestilence.
Yeah.
And then Matteo's there, and they do the most epic Star Wars quote that I think everybody knows.
Yeah.
Which is like, I love you. And he says, I know. And she's like, oh, did you Star Wars quote me? Damn straight he did.
Yeah, he did. And I thought that was really cool, actually, when I read that. And because I'd forgotten that bit.
And
I was like, we mentioned that in our first episode in Fire in His Blood, because he does the same thing, doesn't he, to her? She goes, I love you. And he's like, I know.
Yeah. He's a bit more cocky about it, though, isn't he? Bless him.
It's much sweeter when Matthew does it, because he's like, he's doing it on purpose, because it'll be lovely for her. Whereas Kyle's just like, whatever.
I know. Should I have told you before? Sorry. But So, Jules comes over to help. And then she kind of saddles up and she's like, oh, you're naked.
Oh my God.
And then she kind of backs away. So Reuben comes in and picks up the naked werewolf and takes him back to the car because he's got a knackered leg, bless him.
Yeah, he needs fixing. And Clara as well. She's okay. Reuben's checked on Clara, put her in the car too. And she's going to be fine. It's all happily ever after.
It is. So we do have a bit of an epilogue where they're kind of at a convention where it's kind of, to me, it was just like epic fangirling that. So you're there and Matteo, you're in his point of view and he's at the booth and it's Evie's booth and she's there with her comics and she's doing super well and she's got loads of likes, and then people are fangirling over her, and then she sees these other dudes and she's fangirling over them. Yeah. And then she's kind of like, I don't belong here because of that's him and that's her. And he's like, yeah, you do. Come on. And it's all really sweet.
Super supportive and,
But I do love that Alpha's in there and they're like, okay, is there like a corridor we can go and sneak off to? And we can't. We've got all the money and other people are out here, so we can't leave it. But next time.
That's it. Oh, nice.
So that's it.
Oh, and that was the amazingness of Wolf Gone Wild.
I think it was that we both in like 2 days, it was just like nom 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 nom. We alphaed, we kind of just ate it up. Nom, nom,
and I think, to be fair, I've done the next couple of books in a few days as well. It's probably only been life that has stopped me from reading those ones.
I think, did we both? I had to stop book 3 because I had to read something else to get on with these kind of bits. So I kind of had to stop at a point with Nico and Violet, and I'm like,
I think we got to the point with these, haven't we, as well, where we're like, if we got them, we don't kind of start them until the other one can start.
Yeah, until they're there. Well, yeah, have you got to? Shush, I haven't gone to that bit yet. All right, sorry. Wait till the end.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait for all the rest of them. They're brilliant.
Yes. Well, this is it. We've had this debate as to whether Ruben's book is going to be the best with Jules, or whether there's a Grimm in there somewhere that we're looking forward to.
I have to say, I mean, I'm going to love Jules and Ruben's book, but I am also, I think I want Clara, and it's Henry. The Grimm's called. Yeah. We'll find out later. And is Gareth the other one as well? Yeah, there's another Grimm,
Gareth and
with
Livy.
the other sister, who neither of them appear in Wolf Gone Wild, but they come along in the second.
3. Is it the second that they're in? Isadora's second, isn't she?
Yeah.
Which I did also love how that started. That made me laugh.
Yeah.
But yeah, we digress again. Yes, so I do want to say, in the front of this one, I don't know if you saw it, I kind of, because I'd already read it, when I put it on my Kindle, I had to fast to try and get it to the front, and the artwork in the front was fantastic. I followed the woman on Instagram. Her name was, I'll probably get this wrong, Jamila Mayo.
Okay.
And I went and had a look, and her artwork is fantastic, so go and have a look at that.
Yes,
beautiful.
We'll put a link in.
Put links and stuff in, but it was wicked. So yeah, that's definitely something to go and see.
Lovely. Well, I guess we kind of got to wrap up now. It's the end of the season.
Goodbye. Yeah. I know. How weird is that?
I know. Very strange. I mean, you can still come and talk to us about what you liked about the season, if you liked anything.
Yeah. If you didn't like it, don't 1-star us anyway. Just come and have a word and let us know how to make it better. Yeah,
exactly.
And book suggestions. That would be quite cool.
Yeah, cool book suggestions. If there's any ideas you have for different things we could do, different books we could look for, if there's different tropes we haven't kind of touched on, that would be cool.
Do you know what would be interesting? If you could kind of do the 6 degrees again, but just somebody picks a random book.
Start
a start point, yeah.
Yeah, maybe we could have like a poll or something, like if we got it down to a few that we liked, or something, and then maybe it could be picked, or like a giveaway, like in a hat.
Ooh,
that might be good, mightn't it? The next season. Ideas.
I would say we've had a giveaway, so that will be a definite thing that we could look for again.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, this is Jessica, and she's Emma.
Yeah. And
this is us signing off.
And I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll catch you soon.
Half as much as we did.
Yeah, it's been brilliant.
Yeah, it's been really fun.
Bye.
Be good. Bye.